Good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome along to the Sports Corner Live. We are back once again for a dramatic, action-packed afternoon/evening of football wherever you are. If you're new to the stream, as always, do leave a like and a subscription as we edge towards 1,300 subscribers, whether you're watching this live or on replay. But we have two enthralling matches to keep our eyes on over the next around 2 to 2.5 hours indeed. We've got one big game in the Premier League and one big game in the Bundesliga. Of course, as you can see on the screen, the game we're going to be covering for the entirety of the show alongside another game is that game between Manchester City and Liverpool. That's the first game we're going to be keeping our close eyes on. Kickoff of that match is in just above 10 minutes time, half full kickoff for that game. And then there is another game going on tonight. Of course, part of our Bundesliga weekend of action is our final Bundesliga weekend game to keep our eyes out on. Of course, Kieran is going to be covering this match. It's Leverkusen versus Gladbach. Kickoff of that game is at 5 p.m. UK time. And as I said before, it's not just me doing the show today. We do, of course, have Kieran. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. You know, it's finally the conclusion of what I would call a successful first ever Bundesliga weekender. And we may be ending with the best of the bunch. However, De Klassiker, it has a lot to live up to. So looking forward to today's games. Two brilliant games. So it's one of them where they were both so good, we couldn't just cover one of them. We've jammed them together and created this wonderful thing. How are you, Josh?
I'm really good, and of course we've jammed them both together. And both games, unlike the previous time when we did this with the Celtic and Rangers, both games are a little bit later than each other. So the way that it is going to work, of course, is both games will be going on at some point at the same time. But for the first half an hour, of course, we're going to cover Manchester City and Liverpool as the main game, and then as we hit around 4:45, we'll look at the lineups for the Leverkusen Gladbach game. Of course, build up to that alongside the coverage of the Manchester City-Liverpool game. So we'll be kind of pushing in between when things go a little bit quiet to cover that one. And then, of course, at 5 o'clock, when that game kicks off, Kieran is going to be covering the Leverkusen-Gladbach game. I'll be keeping my eyes out on that City-Liverpool match, and we'll both be going, of course, doing as we usually do with our watch-alongs, keeping up to date with both of the games as we go along. But as we said before, first main game today that's kicking off first is this match between Manchester City and Liverpool. You could quite easily say it is the biggest fixture in the Premier League in terms of its recent history. It's had incredible goals, incredible moments, and it's just a mouth-watering clash with two of the best managers in European football. And as we've got about under 10 minutes to go, should we have a look at the lineups and have a talk through the game, Kieran?
Let's have a look at these lineups.
Let's go for it indeed. Let's start off with the blue side of today's game. It is Manchester City with a 4-3-3 formation. Ederson is in goal, a back four of Cancelo, who will be playing as a left-back today. Laporte and Dias as the two centre-backs, with Kyle Walker playing as the right-back. Midfield three of Ilkay Gundogan, Rodri, and that man, of course, Kevin De Bruyne, who has been on scintillating form for Manchester City over the last couple of seasons. And then up top, it's probably not the front three you would have expected to usually play in a match like this, but it's still a very strong front three. Sterling is on that left-hand side. Ferran Torres, who's been in pretty scintillating form over the last couple of weeks, is on the right-hand side. And then Gabriel Jesus. They've had an injury problem in terms of strikers over the last couple of weeks, but they do have a proper striker up top, Gabriel Jesus, who scored in their Champions League fixture midweek. He's back in the lineup today. And then, of course, it's the red side of this fixture. The red Merseyside team in Liverpool playing with a 4-2-2. Interesting change of system and a mouth-watering attack indeed. Let's start with the back line. Alisson is in goal, a back four of Robertson at left back, Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back, Gomez and Matip as the two centre-backs. Defensive midfield two, you could say the defensive midfield two, Wijnaldum and Henderson. Then we've got Mane and Salah above them, and then we've got Jota and Firmino as the two recognised strikers. Just how attacking, Kieran, is this Liverpool side?
It's too attacking. I think the question mark coming in today was Jota or Firmino, and Jurgen Klopp's solution was play them both. So we'll see. I'm pretty sure Liverpool are going to be exposed to this Man City attack because, you know, defensive midfielders in Wijnaldum and Henderson, even they're not that defensive. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were exposed a little bit at the back today. But as for Man City, their weakness is defence most of the time. They do still give up some sloppy goals. And we'll see how Jesus fares, because they've been without a striker for however long now. And I think we're going to see a good attacking game, as we usually do when these two play, apart from that one blip of a 0-0 where Mahrez ballooned his penalty.
Yeah, we've had some incredible fixtures in these games over the last couple of years. I think there's some memorable games indeed. The game that Mane was sent off in, the game where Salah nearly scored from the halfway line. There's been some incredible fixtures in the past between these two sides. And I think a pre-match point that I've put down for this game, a question to put down on the table is, of course, is this the closest fixture between Manchester City and Liverpool in the last recent years?
I don't think so. I think for me, it was the one in the season where they pipped each other to the post. Not last year, because it was a demolition by Liverpool. The year before, I think that was the closest these two teams have been. Because I'll be honest, Josh, at the start of this year, I haven't been convinced that these two are world beaters in any of the fixtures so far, which makes this game so exciting. Because you see already, we've had 3 league leaders going into this weekend. We might have a 4th if Liverpool win. So I don't think this is as close as it's going to be, but it might be the most fun fixture.
Potentially. And I mean, that's kind of why I put down the question on paper, because, of course, you look at how the Premier League table is looking. It's incredibly close right now. In fact, what I'm going to do for the situation of kind of looking at the table, if you give me 2 seconds here, is I'm actually going to get you the screen up for now. So let me take that off for a second. And then I will bring up the screen here. So you'll be able to actually see now in terms of how the table is currently looking. Usually I'd try and get a graphic ready for it. But as the table currently stands right now, of course, Leicester, who played off against Wolves a moment ago, sat on 18 points. Tottenham earlier today were sat on the top of the table with 17 points after their late victory against West Brom. But, of course, Liverpool, with that extra game in hand, which is being played now, if they win this game, they'll go back to the top of the league on 19 points. As for Manchester City, if they win their game, of course, they can go up into the top 6 onto 14 points. If Liverpool win this game, Kieran, there is a 7-point gap, an 8-point gap between Liverpool and Manchester City. Just how crucial is this game for Manchester City to go out there and win it rather than Liverpool?
It's massive. It is massive, but I think it's massive for both teams. I think one thing City have in their favour is I'm pretty sure they played a game less than Liverpool. I know this is a game in hand for them both, but City had the missing first week due to the Champions League in the past fixture, so they're still playing catch-up. But for City, they have kind of lost pace with the pack. And luckily for them, no one's been on great form. So everyone's dropping points. So I think it's important for them to keep within touching distance. They don't want to be playing catch-up anymore, because we saw last year they were playing catch-up by 20-odd points. You can't do that and win the Premier League title. So for them, it's integral that they keep within the closing distance of the front 4. And then for Liverpool, they'll just be looking to get away from Man City. They're constantly on their tails. They're like that one person that kept poking you on Facebook back in the day. They just won't leave you alone. So for Liverpool, to get away from them now would be a massive, massive result. But it's a toss-up, Josh. It really is.
It is a toss-up indeed. These are two sides who, on the very best of days can be world beaters. They are some of the biggest teams, not just in England, but in Europe. And this is a mammoth fixture now. The lineup on paper is looking like a 4-2-3-1 as per usual for Liverpool today. Of course, as the lineups came out, it could be a 4-2-2 as well. But one quick question: as the players are out on the pitch, ready to go for this mouth-watering clash, how pivotal could Van Dijk's season-ending injury be to the title race for Liverpool? Of course, we saw last year how crucial it was for Manchester City when they lost Aymeric Laporte. It cost them points. Could we see a similar situation for Liverpool this season?
Yes, massively. We've always said they needed a second centre-half next to Van Dijk. We never really even fathomed the fact that Van Dijk might not be there. So now they need 2. They are looking in January. I'm pretty sure they'll bring somebody in. But there is a long time until that point, Josh. There's still a month, and that is a lot of points to lose. In terms of these big games, this is where he'll be missed the most. I think if you're playing a game, and no offence meaning, against a West Brom and the Fulham, you can sacrifice maybe a Van Dijk. But in these games, there needs to be some leadership back there, because if you look across that back four, Josh, Matip's the elder statesman of the group, but I don't see him as a leader, whereas Van Dijk was. So I think it'll be massive, because as you said, the missing of Laporte, City haven't looked the same since they lost Company, who was a massive, massive centre-half for them. So it will be huge. I don't see them defending the title. What do you think? Because Nat Phillips has done all right, but can they rely on him week in, week out?
I think it's going to be an interesting one. I think, if anything, this is probably the biggest test for Liverpool in terms of their defence. Of course, we've seen them already in some of the other games that they've played over the last couple of weeks, where they've been tested against sides. And they might have conceded goals elsewhere that you would have thought, had Van Dijk been in the team, they wouldn't have conceded it. But I think today is the biggest test for that defence. Are they going to be able to cope with some of Manchester City's biggest stars? Now, they're quite lucky to a certain extent that it's quite the opposite. For Manchester City, they're missing attackers. So usually in a game like this, we would expect to see the likes of Aguero playing in a game, Bernardo Silva sometimes as well. And I think you look at that Manchester City attack and say it is much weaker than it has been in previous seasons. So maybe it could do Liverpool a favour, but I still think we're probably going to see goals in this game. And I would be incredibly shocked if this ends 0-0. Incredibly shocked.
I would be. Who do you think could draw favours in this situation? Because I think it's Liverpool. If you get a draw in this game, I think you're away from home. You're not quite at your best. You don't have to play Man City till next year, I'm pretty sure. So you can get some players in January to kind of fill over the gaps while poor Van Dijk is away. And a draw for Man City does absolutely nothing.
No, as you said, the fact that Manchester City, yes, they do have an extra game in hand. And, although they have that extra game in hand and it's all right for them, you have to look at the same time and think that they have to get 6 points out of 6 from those 2 games in hand if they want to have any hope of getting the title. Because, currently right now, if they lose this game today, yes, they've got another game in hand upon the rest of the league. But I think it could become so crucial because, there are certain points in the season across any league in football where you go that you point at a game and you say, look, this is the game that you kind of decided whether a team was going to win the league or not. And I'm not saying that this is going to be the match that decides whether Liverpool wins it or not. But this is the biggest game they've played so far by a country mile. If there is any game Liverpool looks at in the calendar, there's 2 matches. 1 against Everton, of course, because it's a derby. And 2, Manchester City, because this has become the new British derby in football. We've had in the past the United v Arsenals and the games between Chelsea United. This is the biggest game of the Premier League, in my opinion.
I think you bang on. Sometimes you never know what you're going to get with 2 teams, but with these 2, they're always going to be up there, especially in the last couple of years, especially, The 2 managers have turned these 2 teams into not just English juggernauts, but world juggernauts. Because, these are 2 teams that, especially in Europe, I don't think any of the foreign teams want to face from England. I think these are the 2 that are feared by world competitors. And luckily, we get to see them play twice a year. And I'm looking forward to this one as the game has just kicked off now. Should be a good one.
It should be a good one. Indeed, we are underway with this mammoth clash between Manchester City and Liverpool. Of course, as we said before, it's not just Manchester City and Liverpool. We are going to be covering in today's show as well. Of course, Kieran L on your right-hand side of the screen, which is there, not there, is going to be covering Bayer Leverkusen versus Gladbach with kickoff at 5 p.m. So what we will do, of course, is a little bit later on. As we get a bit closer to that game, we'll look at the lineups and talk about that while this match is going underway. But for now, of course, we're both keeping our eyes out between City and Liverpool. As Liverpool come forward, Bobby Firmino with a ball keeps it in play, although I think the linesman has called his flag just out of play. What a start for Liverpool.
Yeah, it was a long ball over the top by Trent Alexander-Arnold. He is onside when he makes that run. He can't quite get it past Ederson. Ederson does well to flick it off the foot of Bobby Firmino to go out for a goal kick.
Yeah, and it's the right decision there from the linesman, of course, way over the line. But a very good start to this game for Liverpool as they come forward once again here. And it's Diogo Jota trying to lay the ball off into Mohamed Salah. And this is a very bright start indeed for the home side. The ball's lofted into the box towards Mane. It's trying to come down towards Firmino, and it's eventually cleared away by City. It's desperate defending in the first 2 minutes, isn't it, Kieran?
It is, and City are now on their own, as Sterling is upended by Diogo Jota. But already, Trent Alexander-Arnold's balls into the box, causing the City defence all kind of problems. Mane's header down, just couldn't quite find the feet of Firmino. A bit of respite for City here. What a start by Liverpool, on the front foot immediately.
Very nervous respite indeed. Benjamin's in the chat said, votes are in. Xhaka President 2020. How you doing, Benjamin? As always, hope you're all good, as you always are.
Xhaka top.
I'll tell you what, I think there'll be a lot of Liverpool fans saying today, stop the count if they win this match.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a nervy game for both teams. I think the nerves have come with that Van Dijk injury. I think before that, they'll have been feeling okay. But without Van Dijk, it's such a different team, really, altogether.
It's nervy, but I think the best thing is with that start, very similar to yesterday. Of course, we watched the Classical live on stream. It's a very good start for the side. They've come forward in these first 2 minutes, had two very good chances where you could have quite easily said Bobby Firmino could have had two within 3 minutes. But of course, there's plenty of time in this match for Manchester City to get back into this game. As Kyle joins us in the chat, he says, hi guys, do we both see City as title contenders this season? I'll let you start off, Kieran.
Some of us don't see them as contenders. Some of us see them as title winners, and that would be me. I think City will win the title. I think they've got enough depth. They've spent an embarrassment of riches. And I think if anyone I can trust to be consistent, it'll be them compared to the likes of Tottenham and this unfortunate injury-stricken Liverpool side.
I think I put them up there this season to finish second, but I genuinely think Liverpool will win it again. I'm not going to lie. I think they've got a very good side on paper, Liverpool. This could be, to be honest, another incredible chance for them to, double their Premier League tally in the last decade, of course, in terms of winning the title. And I think right now, because of how open it is, this is a brilliant opportunity. As Manchester City come forward on their first attack of the game, it's Gabriel Jesus who tries to spray a ball into the middle of the box. I think he was trying to get it towards the path of Ferran Torres, but unfortunately his ball was just a little bit too weak. And Liverpool come on the counter-attack now, and it's Mohamed Salah. There's a slight slip from Ruben Dias, but it's not going to be enough here. Robertson comes forward, tries to lay a ball off to Mohamed Salah on the right wing. He's just kept the ball in play. Now he's going to lay it off into the path of Bobby Firmino, who takes the long-range effort on, and it's blocked in the end by Ilkay Gundogan, and Liverpool keep coming forward.
Yeah, Liverpool's still probing. They are still in Man City's half. They've kind of done a bit of safe possession for the first couple of minutes, but that ball in behind to Mo Salah is what they've been looking for all day long. We saw it early with Bobby Firmino trying to get in behind this City defence. They clearly spotted a weakness there, and luckily for Ruben Dias, he slipped. Didn't cost the team, but it could have. But again, a very lively start to this game. Liverpool have got to be careful because they've only got two men back at all times.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's quite nervy right now, just as a neutral watching this, because it kind of looks like they're trying to just very similar to Bayern Munich in terms of playing a high line as they come forward here, Liverpool. The ball sprayed into the box that eventually doesn't land at anyone's feet, and it's a shame there for Liverpool, of course. The ball originally whipped in by Trent Alexander-Arnold. But Benjamin has put bonjour, lads. Bonjour, Benjamin. I hope you're good, buddy.
Bonjour, sir. Oh, bonjour, monsieur. There you go.
We got there in the end.
Yeah, did a French GCSE, me. I'm basically one of them.
But I mean, this is just an absolutely incredible game to watch. You always feel like this is going to have goals in it. And of course, for those of you that are watching and have just joined us for the Leverkusen Gladbach game as well, kick-off of that match is at 5 p.m. UK time. We're going to talk through the teams in about 10 minutes' time. Kieran L is going to watch that game at 5 o'clock. I'll be keeping you up to date with Manchester City, Liverpool. But for now, we're both watching this game for the first half an hour. And depending on how this game goes, Kieran, you might be looking back and thinking, I wish I didn't have to turn it off. Or you could be looking and saying, I'm quite thankful that I'm watching it as Edison comes out here and a little bit of risky sweeper keeping, goalkeeping there, Kieran.
Yeah, him and Laporte. I don't think they were quite on the same page. Laporte ends up with the clearance, but Edison was rushing out of his goal there. And yeah, you're right. But you know, Mönchengladbach are my boys. I like to support them as much as I can. So that'll be all right for me. I will be keeping a listening to you though, because I'll be able to do play-by-play in my head with how good your commentary is, Josh.
Well, this is the thing. Yesterday was an incredible game, the Classico, of course, which we did in the Bundesliga. It's just been such a good weekend of football as Diogo Jota comes down the right-hand side of the pitch now. There's the ball off into Mohamed Salah just outside of the box. The Egyptian's dancing, tries to squeeze his way into the box, but he can't. He's got the ball eventually taken away from him by João Cancelo. Some good defending there from the Portuguese player who needs to get me FPL points at this stage of the season.
He's done very well there. He's absolutely bodied, but here comes Man City through the pace of Kyle Walker down the right-hand side. He's looking for that switch of play to Sterling, but he can't quite get it. And again, it's wasteful possession, and Liverpool will counter. Jota over the top to Mane down the left.
This is a potential good chance for Liverpool to come forward. A little bit too heavy in terms of where the ball's spread onto the left-hand side. And, well, the ball's eventually kicked out of play there. A bit of frustration from Mane. But Cowspot, sorry, Kieran, title winners, my bad. And then Benjamin's put, I can speak French in 5 different languages. We love it, Benjamin.
Not sure that's how that works.
But unbelievable. We love you, Benjamin. God bless you.
We do. I've missed you since the deadline day, pal. You've not been in as much as I'd like. He was a my Xhaka fanboy, my hype man when I was giving Grant all the praise. Sadly, Arsenal play later. We've got to deal with Liverpool, Man City for now.
We do indeed, and well, we're not too far away from another transfer deadline day. It's creeping up on us, which is always exciting. And well, we're definitely doing it again, aren't we? 100%. Going to have to do it again, of course. But as for now, we are 8 minutes into this game. You will see on the bottom of the screen, of course, the timer will be going up. I'll do it in 5 minutes installments for now. But you have to say, Kieran, Liverpool the better of the two sides so far in terms of attacking chances.
Definitely. The Man City chances have been few and far between, really. I think there was that one chance which was dragged back, but Robertson calmly dealt with it. But with Man City, they don't have to be in a game for, 80, 85 minutes. But in a 5-minute spell, they could probably put 4 past you. They're that good. As we saw with the Champions League on the weekend, they were 1-0 up for the majority of the game and then dispatched Olympiacos with, I think, about 10 minutes to go. But
exactly.
Liverpool are a different breed. And also, if you're Liverpool, you need to make this pressure count because you're not going to get spells like this often.
No, definitely not at all. We know, look, they've got attacking players on the pitch, but this City side has great attacking players itself. There's one man on this pitch, which I think there'll be a lot of City fans looking towards today, and that's Kevin De Bruyne. He's the player on the pitch. He's the playmaker, the man that they're going to be looking to today to make the difference in this game, whether it be an assist or a goal or just breaking down that Liverpool backline. As Benjamin's put, Xhaka is my dad. Well, I tell you what, you're very lucky to have Xhaka as your dad indeed. I'll tell you that for sure. But of course, we've got about 10 minutes into this game. Manchester City 0, Liverpool 0. For those of you, as I said, that are coming in for the Gladbach Leverkusen game, welcome along. Kick-off of that match is at 5 o'clock. We're going to go through the lineups in just a few moments' time as this game does quieten down a little bit with a bit of playing the defensive half. And I tell you what, actually, what we will do is while it's quieting down for a bit, let's go through the lineups now for that game, which kicks off in about 20 minutes' time. You can see, of course, the bench there for Liverpool as well. I forgot to talk through, which we'll look at that at half-time. But Leverkusen Gladbach kicks off at 5 o'clock. As you can see, the team right now for Gladbach, as it currently stands, a 4-3-3 for this game. Haradecki is in goal. Vendel, Tapsoba, Bender. The two Benders are at the back today. As Man City come forward here, and nothing happens there. Amiri, Baumgartlinger and Wirtz, the midfield three, with Diaby, Alario and Bailey as the front three. And then Gladbach, they stick with the exact same lineup that played against Shakhtar at the weekend. Apart from Alisson Play, who he's out of this game, and Bolo starts up top for Leverkusen and for Gladbach today, not Leverkusen. Kieran, should be a good game indeed between two sides in the Bundesliga that are looking to try and push forward towards the top 4.
Yeah, they're chasing that Bayern Munich steamroller, which doesn't really seem to want to slow down unless your name's Hoffenheim. So for me, as Mane trips into the box, that's a trip, that's a penalty.
That has to be a penalty, and the referee, he points to the spot. It is a penalty for Liverpool. And well, you have to say, Kieran, it's the right decision from the ref there. Kyle Walker with the foul.
It is a definite foul. My only problem with this is, Josh, Kyle Walker did a very similar challenge on Jamie Vardy when Leicester won here. He's a great defender, but he's making this mistake again. Mane shows him the ball, taps it past him, and it's a lazy leg. I'm sorry to rob Gary Neville's line, but it is a lazy leg.
I have to agree with you. And while Edison is complaining here, it's the right decision from, I would probably say, one of Manchester City's most consistent players this season.
Yeah, definitely. He's been unbelievable, but he has that mistake in him. He's been very, very nervy opening stages for this Man City defence. And these nerves have paid off, as Graham Pawson has pointed to the spot. There'll be no VAR check, I'm pretty sure, because that is definitely a penalty. And Mo Salah stands over it with probably the most crucial penalty he's taken since he sent Egypt to the World Cup.
Definitely indeed. 12 minutes on the clock here. Very quickly, Tazzy says, howdy. Hope you're all good, Tazzy, as always. Benjamin says, the wife is in here again. Hello, Tazzy. And then Reeza's thought, how's it going? Bates in 87 here. Walker is a clumsy fella. He certainly is indeed. But we'll talk about those comments in a second, because Mohamed Salah is on the penalty spot. He's got a chance here to put Liverpool 1-0 up. He steps up to the plate, takes his time, and slots it home into the bottom left-hand corner. We have our first goal of the game. It was never going to end goalless, was it, Kieran? Liverpool 1, Manchester City 0, and it's certainly deserved after this first 10 minutes.
I was about to say, Josh, it's nothing more than Liverpool deserve. They have been the team on top. They've been the better side. And in a game like this, you just want to stay structurally compact. You don't want to make silly mistakes. Don't give this type of opposition a chance to take the lead. And sadly, that is exactly what Kyle Walker's done. As I think Man City were claiming a foul at the other end on Raheem Sterling, but appeared to be a shoulder-to-shoulder, maybe a possible foul, but the phase of play completely moved on. Looking very, very interesting for Man City now. How did they react after a poor start? But anyway, Leverkusen, Gladbach, anyone?
Yeah, well, we'll have to talk about that in a second, because I didn't think we'd get a goal this early on in the game, which we're not complaining about indeed. But I hope you're all good, Reese, as always. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're all good as well, Tazzy. Cal's put Kyle Walker is stupid, of course. It's a stupid decision there from Walker. As you said, very similar to the tackle against Leicester a few weeks ago. Benjamin putting, is he going to shank it? I don't think he shanked that penalty there. And then Tazzy's put, how are you fellas doing? We're all good, Tazzy. Hope you're all good as well.
Yeah, we're doing fantastic. As we've said, we've been doing this all weekend long, so it's nice to have this as one of the final ones, and we'll have a lot more during this lockdown period, I'm pretty sure, Josh.
Yeah, we're going to try and rinse out as many watch-alongs as we can do throughout this lockdown period, of course. I think it's the perfect time to do as many as we possibly can, because we'll be doing fuck all anyway, so we're going to try and get as many as we can, of course. Unfortunately, international football hits us at the worst possible time, but we've got Euro playoff final games, which will be absolutely fantastic to cover. Some very good Nations League games, which we're doing a goal show for. So if you are new, as always, do leave a subscription. It's always very greatly appreciated. But in the meantime, 15 minutes on the clock. Well, just 14 minutes and 30 seconds to be precise. And as it currently stands, Liverpool with a nice early lead in this game. They've had plenty of chances. What do Manchester City do here to get back in the game? Because we saw a moment ago Pep Guardiola looking a little bit frustrated with how the home side has started off in this match.
Yeah, I can't tell if he's frustrated with that or the decision or both, to be honest with you, Josh, at the moment. They just need to try and get a foothold in this game, because they really have not been in this at all. I'll be honest. I don't know if you agree or not, but they have just not been at their free-flowing best, which City can be. So just take a bit of time, because you're still only 15 minutes in. There's no need to go panic stations. Get a foothold in the game, some safe possession, and build your attacks from there. You haven't troubled this Liverpool defence, but we know they're not the strongest without that mighty Dutch centre-half, Virgil van Dijk. So we'll see. But there's more goals in this, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you. I think there's more goals in this game, 100%. I think the best chance City have had so far was when Jesus was inside the box towards the left-hand side of the post, just couldn't get the ball into the path of Ferran Torres. But they've looked a little bit quiet so far in this game, Manchester City, although they do have a free kick here in a fairly decent position. And we talked about not having that man Van Dijk, of course, Matip being back, which is certainly a positive for this game. But if there's one man that can guide a good ball into the box, it's Kevin De Bruyne, who certainly has had plenty of opportunities in the past to make his name. into the papers with big headlines and big opportunities. And this is a massive chance for Manchester City to equalise, not almost instantly, but a few minutes after Liverpool's opening goal. And De Bruyne is going to loft a ball into the box. It's a really good ball indeed, but the referee, I don't think he's going to bring it back at all. And it's just going to go to play for a goal kick for Liverpool.
Yeah, there was a man on the ground there. It was Aymeric Laporte. It'll be interesting to see what had him upended. I don't think it was anything, to be honest with you. I'm looking at the replay now. I can't see anything. But you're right, it was a good delivery into the box. Liverpool played their high line, as they should do on set pieces, and no one dropped in. I think some of them would have been offside if they'd have made connections. But again, a little bit poor from this Man City side.
Yeah, it was quite a good ball, to be honest, there from De Bruyne, I have to say. I think, of course, there was two players running. I think Ruben Dias was one of them that was trying to get his foot onto the ball. And it was that little glimpse of magic that we can see from Kevin De Bruyne every once in a while. But ultimately, City looking a little bit sloppy here. Benjamin's put Xhaka's going to score a 25-yard screamer today, which will be unbelievable if it is. As Liverpool drive forward here, it's Mane on the left wing. Can the Senegalese forward dance his way through? He tries to get around Kyle Walker. And eventually Kyle Walker's kind of interception lands at Henderson's feet, and he tries the long-range effort and unfortunately goes wide of the mark. And then Benjamin did put Pep is missing Arteta. Do you think that could be a factor?
Well, if you look at the trajectory of both teams, Arsenal have kind of been on the up, and Man City, they've not been on the down. They've just kind of plateaued. They've not really got better this season. So that could be a factor towards it. I think that is definitely, one of the reasons that City haven't looked their best. But I think he could also do it on his own, because he didn't have Arteta at Bayern Munich. He didn't have Arteta at Barcelona. So I think it's just trying to learn without having your assistant there, maybe to put some extra little tidbits of knowledge in. I think it's a reason, but I don't think it's like it's going to make City suddenly not even a top 4 team, if you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I think sometimes it can be a case of maybe he's one of those important people at the club where he knows all the players quite well. He can be that man that the players go to sometimes where they don't want to go to Pep Guardiola, and maybe they're missing that to a certain extent. But I think it's not necessarily clutching at straws. It's more kind of looking at the little things at Manchester City that might affect them in the background. I think it is probably a case right now that they're just lacking the goal scorer up top. Of course, with Aguero and Jesus being out injured fairly recently as well, it's of course kind of had a little bit of a toll on them. And I think there's still a lot of work to be done at Manchester City in terms of transfers and building. I think there's a long way to go in this Manchester City project for Pep Guardiola, and maybe it's a little bit of a longer project than he expected. Pep expected this to kind of be a 3-year project where he could get players in. And by now, they would have probably won the Premier League and maybe the Champions League. And I think it's a little bit too long. And just looking at the comments, I will come to Reese's comments in a second about Jota. I think this is something to actually look upon as well. In my opinion, City never really replaced Vincent Kompany. Some players tried to fill his shoes, but none could squeeze into them. And I guess, is Ruben Dias that man they've looked at to try and become that next Kompany?
It's what I said to you at the start, Josh, when we talked about the Van Dijk injury. Leaders like that on defence don't come around very often. I don't think, you realise how good Vincent Kompany really was until he was gone. And you saw just I don't want to say embarrassing defending, but just really sloppy. And he could improve other players in and around him whilst also being impressive himself. But for me, how can you not find a Vincent Kompany replacement when you've spent nearly £1 billion? That kind of proves how good he was. How much money City have spent, it's unspeakable. But they haven't got Vincent Kompany. Is Ruben Dias that man? He's a bit young to be immediately Vincent Kompany, but in 2 or 3 years, we'll have to see, because they've been trying to do it for a while. And it just seems to be like a kind of a poison chalice. Nothing seems to have worked for them in defence. Maybe Dias changes that.
Maybe so. As we said, he's still very, very young. He was really good at Benfica. And of course, it's something that'll probably be a project over time. I mean, him and Laporte together, he sounds like a fantastic backline on paper. Whether it works or not over time, we'll have to find out. Remember, Diaz has only played a couple of games. And like you said, it will probably be a couple of years before we see him hit the very top of the game. But coming back to Reese's comment about Liverpool, do you think Jota will make an impact today, given his incredible current form?
Well, he's already made an impact because Sterling believed he was fouled by him, but they could make an impact now as Salah has had the ball nicked and he's driving towards goal. He frees up Mane, who tries to square it.
Oh, he's just unlucky there.
Yeah, sorry, I'll get back to Jota in a minute. It was just Mane nicked the ball up midfield and Liverpool were countering at an electric pace. But for me, I think Jota will... I don't think he'll have as much of an impact as he has in other games. He got a hat-trick midweek. I don't think he'll have that kind of impact today, but he has been unbelievable since signing. Because I remember, I don't know if you remember, like Wolves fans were like, 40 million for Jota, bargain. I think you'll find it was a fair price because he's been really good. I don't know how much he'll impress today, but he is definitely a great, great signing.
He had to start today. He had to, just because of the hat-trick against Atalanta. And look, he wasn't the most consistent player in the world at Wolves as the corner's lofted and it goes all the way out for a goal kick. He wasn't the most convincing player at Wolves. There was points in his career where he had glimpses of moments where you thought, wow, he's just an incredible player. And I think Wolves fans expected him to do very similar at Liverpool. And the fact he's been off to just such a good start, he had to play today, and I think there'll be a lot of Liverpool fans very thankful that they spent 40 million on him because he's an incredible player on his day. And it comes back to that point of when you have world-class players around you, it can up your level. Because look at Wolves today. They were missing somebody up top that could have got a bit of creativity for them. Could that have been Jota?
Yeah, I was going to say to you, it's exactly what our point off-stream the other day was about Moise Kean. Moise Kean looks brilliant at PSG, but is it very difficult to look brilliant when you've got Di Maria, Mbappe and Neymar trying to give you assists? No, it's probably quite easy to look good. So Jota looks better in this team because he has better players around him, and obviously, but he's still got to do his job as well, though. He's still got to finish the chances, and I think he has done.
Absolutely, indeed. He's been incredible since he's come in, a really good player. And Benjamin put as well, although I'm going to stop for a second because there was a long ball lofted in towards the box from Trent towards Firmino, but Edison got there in the end. Arteta did a lot of work with Sterling De Bruyne, which, of course, in the attacking side of play, they've been lacking a little bit, haven't they, City?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, De Bruyne, if you have been working with him, Arteta, his own right, was a brilliant midfield player, but the way, if he has been working closer with De Bruyne, the way he's turned him into just the best centre midfielder in the world. I think there's no doubt he's the best centre mid in the world. So he hasn't dropped his game, but maybe they'll miss having him there to, as you say, maybe have a word with some of these players. And it's kind of like, the deputy teacher, if you don't want to go to the real teacher because you're a bit scared. It's kind of what it might have been. An arm around your shoulder, but they've both still been playing to a very high level without him.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, look at what Arteta's doing now at Arsenal. It's been a fantastic start for them. And of course, they play a little bit later on today after this game, I believe. But just very quickly, of course, because in just under 5 minutes, so there's a chance of Manchester City to come forward. It's Sterling who's in the box. Alisson tries to come out of his goal and eventually Sterling takes the shot and he's cleared away in the end. And Nervy defended at the back there. And it was Joel Matip that I think who just got a touch onto the ball to make sure it didn't go into the back of the net. And that is the first big chance of the game for Manchester City, courtesy of Raheem Sterling, Kieran.
Yeah, they just put the press on Liverpool. They did what Liverpool do to other teams. It was a beautiful drilled ball into the box, curled by that man, Kevin De Bruyne, to that man, Raheem Sterling. But great saves by the legs of Alisson Becker. And Matip gets it clear. But it throws back to what we say, how important is Alisson? Because when he was out injured, Liverpool were not the same team. And that's the kind of confidence that the Brazilian brings.
I think there would have been a lot of Liverpool fans incredibly worried if Adrian was in goal today, just because, look, at the end of the day, we said earlier about this Manchester City side maybe not being the best attacking-wise right now in terms of how strong it's been in the past. But with Adrian in goal, I think there would have been a lot of nervous fans today. As Liverpool come forward here, Salah tried to spray a ball into the box towards Bobby Firmino, but his pass is a little bit too heavy. And while we got a chance to quickly breathe for a moment, of course, kick-off in a moment between Bayer Leverkusen and Gladbach, which Kieran L is going to be keeping his eyes on in just a moment's time. Of course, while this Liverpool City game is still going on, and it's gone a little bit quiet for a second, this is a humongous match for both sides in the Bundesliga. Who do you think is going to come out on top? Of course, Leverkusen still unbeaten in the league, but Gladbach looking the stronger of the two sides.
Yeah, it's one of them. I don't want to say it's generous that they're still unbeaten, but they've drew a lot of games. It's a bit like, Atletico Madrid, when they're like, 15 games unbeaten, but 11 of them were draws. So it's kind of that whole vibe. But for me, Leverkusen, they lost a really key figure in the summer in Kai Havertz. And have they replaced him? No. Are they a better team for it? Possibly. But for me, Bayer Leverkusen, not impressive in Europe at all. I don't know about your thoughts, but they lost to Slavia. They only just nicked past Hapoel Beersheva in the end, who gave them a little bit of a fright. But Gladbach, coming off an impressive 6-0 win, I'm going to back the boys. I'm going to back Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Well, they've been on fire recently, Gladbach. I mean, when you actually look at how the table is currently standing for the two sides, as Manchester City come forward, nothing happens there. As it currently stands, Gladbach in 7th on 11 points, Leverkusen in 5th on 12 points. As you said before, 3 wins, but 3 draws for Leverkusen as well. It's been a bit of a nervy start, but if Leverkusen can win today, they will go into the top 4. They'll flip just above Union Berlin in 4th. As for Gladbach as well, they could also go into 4th place with a win. A draw would probably not favour either side here, although the table is still fairly even. But in terms of these two sides, if they want to go and try and challenge for the title this season, it's paramount that they both get a win today. And unfortunately, as we know, one of them would have to lose in this situation. And I feel like you would say that Leverkusen are the more likely of the two sides.
In a bad way, I hope so. But that's not to offend Leverkusen. I think overall it's just going to be a very tight game between two sides that are the upper echelons of the Bundesliga. But, Leverkusen, they're in 5th. They're actually ahead of Mönchengladbach. So be interesting.
We'll have to find out indeed. That game is just about to kick off, I believe, in a moment's time. So, of course, we'll be keeping you up to date with Bayer Leverkusen and Gladbach. That kicks off in just a moment. Of course, City, Liverpool, we're about just under half an hour into the match as it currently stands. Liverpool 1-0 up against Manchester City, courtesy of a Mohamed Salah penalty in the first 15 minutes of the game. But we'll keep you up to date with both scores of the matches, of course, as we continue on our Bundesliga weekender. But Liverpool are in here. There's a ball sprayed towards Sadio Mane from Salah. And just once again, it's a little bit too heavy from the Egyptian. Edison tries to kick the ball up long fairly quickly to create a counter-attack, but it goes all the way back to Alisson. And another chance there for Liverpool to really open this Manchester City backline. And we've said it multiple times now. They look very dangerous the away side. Manchester City not really testing that Liverpool backline a great deal so far.
No, not at all. As Mönchengladbach versus Leverkusen kicks off. I'm not being rude, Josh. I'm just tweeting out about the second game that's starting today. But looking forward to both games. We'll see if they can have a quick start like you've had in the Liverpool game.
Well, it certainly was a quick start here. It's been a very enjoyable game so far. And I think, as we said before, these are the types of games that any neutral loves to watch. Very similar to last night with the Der Klassiker between Dortmund and Bayern Munich. You're guaranteed goals or you're guaranteed incredible chances. Even 0-0 sometimes. You look at these games and go, well, what an incredible match. Somehow it's ended goalless. But we're not ending goalless in this game. Of course, Liverpool already 1-0 up as Manchester City look to push forward here. And I have to say, coming back to a point earlier, Kyle Walker looking very nervous at the back because it was another chance, as we were talking about Jota earlier on, where Kyle Walker gave the ball away from a throw-in that led to the counter-attack for Liverpool. And I have to say, if there's one position to exploit right now on the pitch, it's probably Kyle Walker because he's looked incredibly nervy.
As Leon Bailey's through in this game and he just strikes wide. He had a great performance midweek, did Leon Bailey.
But this could be a great chance. He's in! He scored! Back of the net! 1-1. Game on. Well, out of nothing. Out of absolutely nothing. De Bruyne, that moment of magic. And sorry to jump in, Kieran. It is that man. That moment of magic we were talking about. You know, at the end of the day, he could do absolutely nothing in the game for 90 minutes, Kevin De Bruyne, and then get a glimpse of the ball. And it was a long ball from the midfield. Ilkay Gundogan, Kyle Walker's calling for it on the right wing. He gets the ball, lays it off to De Bruyne just outside of the box. He sees there's some space for Jesus. It is a lovely bit of trickery from the Brazilian inside the box. Just seeing it now. He takes the touch. He doesn't nutmeg Alexander-Arnold, but he kind of kicks it with the back of his heel, spins Alexander-Arnold, slots it into the back of the net, nutmegs Alisson with the opportunity. It's 1-1, and out of nothing, Manchester City are back in this game. 1-1.
It's one of them, isn't it? You've got to make your pressure count. And Liverpool, sadly, they did get the 1-goal lead, but just like that, Man City are back into it. Interesting to see if they can carry the momentum now.
Well, the momentum is continuing here because Kevin De Bruyne takes long range. Oh, no, he's wide. Oh, I thought he was in the back of the net. Kevin De Bruyne, the man, as I said, that they expected today to go out there and try his very best. He takes a long-range effort on from about 30 yards, and it just goes wide of the left-hand side of the post. Maybe not as close as I thought it was originally, but they've got to make the most of their chances, City. As you said earlier, Liverpool, well, they were leading this game for half an hour. He's got City right back into it. 1-1 in this game.
Unbelievable fixture so far, as we expected, between these two teams. We're still in the opening stages of the Leverkusen Gladbach game. The only chance we had was that Leon Bailey strike, which just went wide. But good games.
Very good games indeed. And the thing is now, it really opens up this match. You know, both sides, as we said before, will not want to draw this game because for Liverpool, of course, it still means they won't go to the top of the league, but it puts them behind the rest of the pack. Not by a far mile, but they don't want to drop points at this early stage. And Manchester City, yes, they've got 2 games in hand. One game is this now, and the other game, of course, which they would have originally played at the start of the season. But still, they need every last point they can get right now.
They do, as Leon Bailey's on the right-hand side. He looks across the box. Nicol Elvedi does brilliant and earns his team a goal kick. Leon Bailey looking bright in these opening stages between Leverkusen and Gladbach.
Well, of course, he's going to be rewarded a start for his 2 goals against Hapoel Beersheva, a play we talked about actually on the Europa League watch-along we did on Thursday. Don't really hear much about him over the last basically over the last year, but is he starting to get back a little bit of that old form what we saw when he was a little bit younger?
You'd like to hope so, because there's been other headline stealers like Diaby and Wirtz, who came in. I think he was like the youngest goal scorer in Leverkusen history. I think he beat Havertz by a couple of days, I think. So other players have kind of come up, and that's what happens when you sadly stagnate. But he has the memorable moments. I remember his double against Bayern Munich when they beat them at the Allianz. That's one of the biggest moments of his career. And hopefully he can have another one of them tonight.
Hopefully so. We'll have to find out. Indeed, of course, your game will still be going on as this one reaches half-time. We're just at the 35th minute mark of this game as Liverpool comes forward on the left wing. Sadio Mane, some really good defending there from Laporte, but his tackle has eventually landed the ball back to Robertson. Edge of the box. Half effort there from Diogo Jota on the volley, but it goes wide of the mark. And I have to say, Kieran, they've just shown the replay of the Jesus goal. What an absolutely incredible bit of trickery from Gabriel Jesus. The touch that he gets to get it around Alexander-Arnold is world class. It's absolutely sensational.
He's got it in him. When you come from South America, they always wonder if you've got that samba skill that the likes of Ronaldinho brought over to the game, etc. And he's just shown it in glimpses. He's never been the most consistent, but if you're going to do tricks like that and get a leveler against Liverpool, why not do it in style?
Exactly, and he's done it in style indeed. It's a beautiful goal, and for those of you that aren't watching the game, I would highly recommend trying to find at some point a way to be able to see the goal, because it's a stunning goal indeed, and that is the goal that might just allow City a bit more freedom and confidence in this game. Liverpool for that first 25, 30 minutes were dominating the match, and it kind of looked like City needed a spark just to get them going. And well, of course, it was going to be that man Kevin De Bruyne who got the spark in this game. And well, the assist means FPL points indeed. We love to see it.
There you go. So you've got some FPL points as Diaby's on the right, the man we spoke about. He tries to drill it into Leon Bailey. It's just gone out of play. It's another throw-in for Leverkusen. What do you think about Player being dropped after his hat-trick? Do you think it's purely a case of resting?
I don't know on that one. I thought it was a bit of a weird situation as to why he wasn't picked for the match. I thought, of course, when you get a hat-trick, usually you start the game, and maybe it's a case of resting. I think, is it potential that they're looking at it and thinking, we don't want to try and tire players out? Of course, he's not the player that's going to go on international duty, so it's a bit strange in that sense. I mean, I'm looking at the bench now, and of course, he is on the bench, so it's not a case of him being out injured or COVID or anything. Maybe it's just a case of having a super sub that can come on and affect the game.
Oh, and there's a dangerous clash in here. I'm not sure whether it'll be given as either a free kick or just a stoppage in play. There was a ball whipped in by Jonas Hoffmann. Both Thuram, Bender and Hradetsky all go for it, all miss it, and it's just a massive clash between the three. I'm not really sure how this is going to be given, but I'll get back to you because a nasty clash between the three of them.
Yeah, that might mean there's a little bit of additional time in terms of free players going down, not something you usually see. But we're just getting towards the 38th minute of this game between Manchester City and Liverpool. And as we expected, now Manchester City have got that goal back in the game. They're looking a little bit more confident in this match, taking the ball in their strides. And although we haven't had a significant chance since that, there might be a chance now because Cancelo's coming down that left-back position, lays the ball off into Raheem Sterling, about 35 yards out from goal. Sprays it into the middle of the pitch towards Rodri. Now into De Bruyne. Now into Kyle Walker, who's going to lay it off into the path of... I think Ruben Dias has made a run forward here. Interesting to see. Now it's into Kyle Walker on the right wing. He's going to flick a ball into the box. It's quite a heavy cross, though, and eventually it will actually go all the way to Diogo Jota, so it's not going to come to anything. But, yeah, coming to the strides now, Manchester City, as you'd expect.
Yeah, it took them half an hour to wake up, but... at least they're not going in 1-0 down and they're not chasing the game massively. I think they'll be the happier of the two sides with the way Liverpool made their electric start. And look, 1-1, is it the worst result at half-time? Probably not.
No, and I think it goes back to what you said earlier. It is a case of, they had to, at that point, Liverpool make the most of it. There's calls here for a handball. De Bruyne's whipped a ball into the box to the right wing, and this is going to be checked, I think. Calls for a handball. So it was Kevin De Bruyne, very similar position to where he whipped the ball in a moment ago for Gabriel Jesus's opportunity. He's flicked it and it hits Gomez. Now, that was a bit of a shitty angle, to be honest. I think there could be calls here for this to be given as a penalty. Now that he's getting checked with the referees, just stop play for a moment, of course. As you would expect, checking it all the time. I mean, some people would say that's a penalty. He's trying to move his hand out of the way. Now, they're looking at various angles here. VAR is intervening in this. We could see this being given as a penalty. Let's find out, of course. A big moment here for Liverpool, but an even bigger moment for Manchester City as we get towards the final 5 minutes here. The referee has been told to go to the monitor, which I like this because we're now starting to see, compared to last year, the monitor getting used so much more, which I think is fantastic in terms of it actually getting used in comparison to what we were talking about last year. Usually
that means it's going to get given. Usually when they go to the monitor, I think I've only seen one so far this year where it's not been given. So it depends I've not seen the handball because obviously I'm busy covering a different game. But it depends because we saw one in the Wolves-Leicester game, which wasn't a handball, and it just got given because you don't know what the guy's going to do.
I mean, in my opinion, that's a penalty. He's looking to move his arm away, but it's in an awkward position. The referee points to the spot. It is a penalty. And as we said before, I think it's the right decision, to be honest. He looks like he's gone to move his arm away, and it hits him. But at the end of the day, if we're playing by the rules of the law now on the fact that if it hits the arm, it's a penalty, then it has to be given, in my opinion. And I respect the decisions from the referee here to give it. But Manchester City have a major chance here to take the lead in this game as we hit the 41st minute. And it's Joe Gomez who gives away the penalty. Big chance for Manchester City.
Yeah, big chance because they weren't impressive for 30 minutes. But if they can take the lead going into the second half, what a turnaround.
Absolutely. It's Kevin De Bruyne who's going to take the penalty, as you would expect. The Belgian, who has already got assist in this game, has a chance to put the ball into the back of the net. He's up against Alisson. Of course, the referee just talking to the players here, making sure they don't go over the lines, as per usual, of course, with penalties. He steps up to the spot, De Bruyne, and he's missed it! Wow! Well, this is something you'd never expect Kevin De Bruyne to do. He's missed the penalty! And he goes to the bottom left-hand corner. And he goes completely wide of the post. It's going nowhere near the goal. And it's curling away. And I don't know whether it's the fact, and I'm not here to clutch at straws. I don't know whether the fact, because it started raining this game, it's a little bit more slippery on the pitch out there in terms of it. He's clutching at straws, right? But he misses the penalty. It stays 1-1, and Liverpool are coming forward here almost instantly from that penalty, and eventually it's cleared away. But De Bruyne missed the pen.
Cuts inside again. It's Alario. Oh, it's a great block, but the ball's still around. Wirtz does a beautiful Cruyff turn on the outside to Bender. Through again. And it's a good chance in this game for Leon Bailey. But you were correct, Josh. Is the momentum now with Liverpool after that penalty miss?
Well, I can't believe it because, usually we're talking about, any time De Bruyne is taking a set piece or a penalty at the very least, you're pretty much guaranteed to go back into the net. And as I said, maybe I'm clutching at straws. I'm not a City fan, so I'm not trying to back him up in any way. But, of course, it started raining in this match. So maybe in terms of the way that he's trying to hit the ball, of course, the ball being a little bit more wet and slippery is going to make it awkward. But it's very unusual for Kevin De Bruyne to miss a penalty, and it's poor. And Liverpool are quite lucky. He never misses penalties.
Yeah. I mean, massive let-off for Liverpool. And it's just this game has so many peaks and troughs for both teams.
It's Mane. He's through. Tries to get into the middle of the box, and maybe he's let it a little bit too heavy there. He's gone to the out of the box. Now he's going to have to let it off for Salah, who waits for Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's inside the box. Trent Alexander-Arnold makes the save. Goalkeeper scrapping for the ball and eventually gets it in the end. And Diogo Jota is trying to talk to the referee here about a potential decision inside the box. And, well, as I said, just to try and make all of that, it was Sadio Mane, who just looked like he'd kind of killed the opportunity off there, went into the box, and then a really good defend there from Laporte to the outside the box. It was Trent who took the shot on, and it was Diogo Jota in the end who tried to get on the touch of Edison Moraes's potential save there. And it actually went through Edison's legs as he went to collect the ball. Jota just couldn't get a touch on the ball. And, you just don't want this half to end, Kieran. There's a minute left of the first half here, and what an end to this game it has been. What an end.
What a start. To be fair, what a half in general. It was a really, really good half. As yours will be coming to an end, we've just reached the 15-minute mark in Leverkusen.
Well, I mean, it'll certainly make half-time much more easier than usual, but Manchester City are trying to come down here on the left-hand side. Jean Cancelo tries to drive a ball into the box towards Sterling, but Joe Gomez just good to clear away. And there's a lot of people on Twitter that are saying, look, I think it's a very harsh penalty to give away. But I think in the terms of the laws, yes, Joe Gomez, he moves his arm away, which, in certain aspects, you'd look and say, well, why is it given as a penalty? But with how the law is now, it's one of those where I think referees these days are giving it as a penalty. As Manchester City look to drive down the right-hand side. It's a ball from Ferran Torres into the box towards Jesus. It's going to go into the hands of Alisson as we go into 3 minutes of additional time here. We don't want it to end.
We don't, but again, both teams I think will want to go in for half-time because it's almost got that such a high pace that maybe the players just want to take a breather for a minute.
Well, there's no time to take a breather here, Kieran, because we've got a free kick for Liverpool. Well, if you watched the Classica yesterday, it was 1-1 at just before half time. And there was a pivotal free kick that was just outside of the box that Alaba scored. It was a really good taken free kick. We are talking very similar situation here. It's just outside of the box. I'd say about 25 yards out, in a very good position to hit this. And there's three players standing over this. Henderson is one of them. Trent is another. And Salah is the other player. Can they get here what would be a very crucial goal before half-time to change the team talks up as Edison just organises his wall?
It's got to be Trent. It's got to be Trent, hasn't it?
I'd expect it to be Trent who takes it here. It's in a very good position for him.
Gladbach, the through. It's on the right-hand side. Hoffman, he squares it. Mbolo, round the keeper. Penalty surely. Points to the spot. Penalty Gladbach.
Big chance here. And the free kick's taken. And it's just over the right-hand side of the post. Trent Alexander-Arnold. The free kick was actually laid off by Salah. It was a good chance, but didn't go into the back of the net. And I think that'll probably be one of the last chances we get as the game, as we get the penalty between Leverkusen and Gladbach.
Yeah, the Finn Lucas Radetzky is out to try and make the save, and Bolo taps it past him, and his trailing leg is caught by Lucas Radetzky. And Bolo into the team for Alassane Plea earns the penalty. Captain Stindl steps up. Josh, we've had 3 penalties in 2 games.
Penalties galore. We love it right now. Liverpool are coming forward here. It might be another chance for the end of the game. There is loads of space for Jota to drive into. His ball's heavy to Salah. He does get it to him in the end. Oh, he lays it off for Bobby Firmino, but it might have been an awkward one. Bobby Firmino fouls Cancelo, and I think that'll be a yellow card for Firmino. And I think Salah there just fucked up his ball to Firmino, made it a little bit awkward for the Brazilian. But penalty.
It's 1-0 Gladbach. It's as cool as you like from Lars Stindl. It's a slow, patient run-up, and he just taps it down the middle as Radetzky dives to the right. It's one of them penalties where you're so cool, but not cool enough to Panenka in the 98th minute. Nice enough for Lars Stindl. He just rolls it past Radetzky. 1-0 Gladbach. Good start.
Well, I think if he was any professional football player right now, after seeing Ademola Lookman's awful Panenka opportunity, I don't think there'll be any football players trying a Panenka for a while. But we've just reached the half-time stage of this game between Manchester City and Liverpool. And I tell you one thing, Kieran, I'm actually very happy this has gone in at half-time as 1-1 because it means the second half is so evenly poised that it should realistically be an incredible and hopefully dramatic second half of action. But that's not to say that this first half hasn't been dramatic because it's been end to end. It was Liverpool, of course, who started the game with the opening goal of the match. It was Mohamed Salah who got a penalty to the back of the net after a foul from Kyle Walker. You're thinking at that stage, 15, 20 minutes in, look, Liverpool, they're dominating the match. You thought there was just going to be a flurry of Liverpool opportunities and goals. And then out of nowhere, it's just a piece of brilliance from De Bruyne. Lays the ball off into Gabriel Jesus. And the skill that Gabriel Jesus uses to get around Trent Alexander-Arnold, it's an outstanding goal to put Manchester City back into the game.
It's 1-1. It's a long-range strike from Amiri. The flag's up. Offside.
Oh, it won't count. I was just about to change the scoreline then, Kieran.
It's an unbelievable strike. It's a short corner to Amiri. He's getting close down, but he takes strike from about 20 yards. But sadly, taps over. He's in an offside position, and he's in front of the goalkeeper, and he blindsides him. So it's going to be called as offside. He doesn't touch the ball. But does he affect Jan Sommer's view of it? We'll have to see. I'm sure this will be reviewed. He's nowhere near the ball. Taps over. Sommer has to do better. We're slowly going to find out. I think this is going to go to VAR, Josh.
I hope it goes to VAR, or else it's another interesting decision that it might not go to a club's ways. But just look at the chat very quickly. Andrea B says, "Hi guys, love what you're doing from France. Hope you're good, Andrea. As always, thank you very much for joining us." And then Dragos has put, "Who had the kickoff by Leverkusen versus Gladbach?" It is Kieran on the right-hand side who's going to be covering that game right now. But as you said, potential VAR shout here for a long-range effort.
It is offside. It's one of them. He is affecting the keeper's view of it, and it does change the keep. You expect him taps over to get a touch, but he doesn't touch it. He doesn't actually get as near as you think, and he just narrowly misses it. But a great long-range strike from Amiri. But this game is 1-0, a massive let-off from Mönchengladbach. But I'd say Leverkusen have been the better team so far.
Well, what a start to the game there as well. I mean, you can't complain in any aspect of how that game started off so far. I mean, is it a harsh decision, do you think, with the offside, or do you think looking at it from VAR's perspective, it's the right decision?
It's one of them. Is there enough there to probably overturn the decision? No, I don't think there is. It's not egregious. I understand why the decision was made. Would I have personally given it as offside? I think I would have done, yeah. Even though he didn't quite touch the ball, he was making a motion towards the ball that changed the keeper's angle. And, I understand it.
It's a fair decision in the end. Of course, I haven't got the game on right now, so I won't be able to say whether it's a fair decision or not. But, of course, I'm covering the Manchester City-Liverpool game for those of you that have just joined. Kieran is covering that game between Bayer Leverkusen and Gladbach, which kicked off at 5, which means that game is currently going on now. As Manchester City-Liverpool is at half-time, of course. We talked about a moment ago. Of course, Kevin De Bruyne missing a penalty as well is just very un-Kevin De Bruyne-esque, and I'm so excited for the second half because both teams will definitely go out to try and get that victory.
I think this is a pair of watch-alongs that we do not regret making.
No, definitely not.
What a start for this game, and what a whole half of your game. But there's a long time to go. Still 45 in yours, still about 60, 65 or so in mine. Are we expecting more drama? Surely.
Hopefully. I mean, I expect more drama. Fingers crossed. I've just seen, it looks like Bernardo Silva is doing warm-ups, quite heavy warm-ups at half-time. So, look, at the end of the day, Manchester City, yes, it's 1-1, but I still think Pep will be a little bit frustrated with how they started that last 20 minutes and how, of course, they could have been 2-1 up at this stage of the match. But Bernardo Silva could come on in this game, which is a very interesting shout indeed.
Do you think for Ferran Torres? I've not heard much of him. He wasn't really in the game much when we were watching it. I think he's the only candidate I can see possibly to be replaced.
Yeah, I think it might be for Ferran Torres. He's not done much at all.
He's free on the right. He takes a shoddy touch, but he slowed the play down. He chips it into the box to nobody. It was a beautiful opportunity. He was free, but his touch took him too far wide. And again, Leverkusen, the much better side. I am sorry to cut off your point about Ferran Torres, Josh, but he was in a golden space to put that one away, but he didn't manage to.
Very, very unfortunate indeed there. But yeah, I think it'll be Ferran Torres that might come on in the second half. Not Ferran Torres, come off in the second half more than anything. But I think he's not done much at all in this game. As much as he's scored a couple of goals, even there in the Champions League, he's been very, very quiet in this. And I think Pep will be looking to bring someone on who could bring a bit more creative flair, because De Bruyne, yes, he's missed the penalty, but that assist and the goal for Manchester City was just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and as Amiri, it's cleared off the line. It was a beautiful crossing by Amiri from the free kick, and Emmanuel Tapsoba, sadly, was the reason the goal got disallowed. His header was sailing towards inside the back post, but a great block by Konrad Laimer to clear it off the line. Leverkusen will be bamboozled because they're not 1-1 in this game.
Very, very nervous indeed right now. What I've done is I've put it on the side, of course, because we've got a little bit of time, and then if there's any opportunities, I could quickly jump in and see what's going on. But while we've got a quick breaking play here on the two games, of course, here's a quick look at some of the content that is still to come on the channel over the next couple of weeks. It's really well worth recommending staying on the channel, of course, if you are new, as always. So you'll be able to see on your screen now, of course, we're currently watching the game between City and Liverpool and Gladbach and Leverkusen. But coming up over the next few days, we've got more watch-along content, of course. Our next watch-along is on the 12th of November, which is just in 4 days' time. Euro 2020 playoff finals goal show. Going to be a great night indeed for some countries. And then on the 14th of the 15th of November, and across the entirety of the international break, keep your eyes out because we're going to be doing UEFA Nations League Match Day 5 and Match Day 6 goals show live. Of course, keeping you up to date with every single international fixture across the board in the UEFA Nations League as the goals do go in, as we did in the first few match days. But of course, as for now, as it currently stands in the games, Manchester City and Liverpool 1-1 at half time. Leverkusen 1-0 down to Gladbach half an hour in, although we could have already had 1-1 or maybe 2-1 in that game, which really, really good start indeed for you.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a really good start by this Leverkusen team, but they somehow find themselves on the back foot through a penalty. But they've looked so good. It's been a good reaction from the Leverkusen team. They'll look to get back into it as Liner picks the ball up on the right and finds Mbolo with the through ball. But great defending by Tapsoba, who's been a rock since signing for Leverkusen.
He's been incredible, hasn't he?
Yeah.
You've got to look and think that I don't think they signed him for a great deal, to be honest. But he's been one of those players that just seems to have slotted in really well at the back.
Mario, what a goal! What a goal! It's 1-1, and what a goal this is, Josh. Unbelievable.
I've got it up. Here we go.
From Tapsoba's tackle, they drive up the other end with Diaby, who drives, and he keeps driving. No one wants to come and close him down, but no one wants to leave space. He literally carries it from inside.
Oh, my Lord.
Yes, and he keeps driving. Mario is wide to Diaby's left. A touch out of his feet, curls it and bends it into the top right-hand corner. Lucas Alario, welcome to the game, my son. He has been on good form this season, and he continues it today. What a finish that is.
I mean, you've got to say that. I'm just looking at the goal right now. It's absolutely criminal how much space that has been given there to Alario to be able to, to Diaby to drive forward and let him score the goal. What an incredible goal from Alario. Wow.
Yeah, it's his 6th goal of the season. He's been on great form. But you have to also credit the Bayer Leverkusen attackers because they were moving every which way to drag the Mönchengladbach centre-halves. They were going left, they were going right, but they didn't know whether to go and close down Diaby. No one did. And what a great goal that is in this game. And it is 1-1 after half an hour, Josh. And what a start.
I've got it up on the side now, so I'll be able to look at any key moments as well. But that Diaby one was unbelievable. The way he's just able to drive forward and the defenders just allow him to keep going. It's criminal indeed. Andre put 1-1 actually in Leverkusen, guys, you didn't see. Our streams might be just a little bit further behind. Yeah. So we might be like a minute behind from the actual game time that you might be able to see. So apologies about that. But what a game it sounds like in the first half an hour here. It's been a pretty good fixture, hasn't it, so far, winning the 2 games?
Oh, it's been absolutely brilliant so far. And this is Gladbach on the break as Mbolo shurries one tackle and squares it to Stindl. His shot from long range is blocked, but it's only as far as Marcus Thuram. He looks like he's going to bend one himself. That's blocked as well. Through to Stindl. 2-1. Offside. Offside.
Wow.
Offside.
Unbelievable.
Oh, I don't believe it.
I mean, I'm just the decision. It's got to be a close one from the sounds of it.
I'm just having a look now, and Marcus Thuram, he takes the shot, he then prods it through. No, he's definitely offside. It's his whole body's off, but it's another good finish from Lars Stindl, and it could be 2-2 in this game.
I was just about to say that. It could have been 2-2 in half an hour.
But I think they're about to question, does it come off the foot of Marcus Thuram or the foot of the defender?
Now, this is a big potential opportunity for Gladbach to take the lead in this game. I'm guessing they must have stopped playing here to check this. VAR's getting his money's worth today, isn't it?
Yeah, we're still pausing at the moment. I'm not sure if actually Marcus Thuram touches that or it comes off the defender. And in that changes the whole rule. I think there's enough of a touch from Thuram there. I do. I've got to admit, I'm re-looking at the slow motion replay. To me, that looks like a Marcus Thuram touch. Yeah. Wait till you see the slow-mo. I think that's a Marcus Thuram touch.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, the slow-mo changes it. Because in real time, it looked like it was just the defender. No goal. Offside. Fair enough.
Oh, well, it could have been 2-2 in this game, which is absolutely bonkers. What a start to this match you've had so far. Absolutely incredible game indeed. But 1-1 as it currently stands between these two sides. And, well, a mental game.
Wait, they're celebrating.
Oh, I think...
Wait, what?
Well, there seems to be a bit of confusion here.
Goal! What?
He's counting. He's counted as a goal. It's 2-1.
You saw that it said no goal, didn't you? I swear it said no goal.
VAR on the top left-hand corner there said it was no goal. And of course, you just said a moment ago, which I've just seen, obviously the player's celebrating. It's a goal. It's 2-1 Gladbach. Well, I don't know what's gone on there.
I disagree with that decision. I've got to admit.
I mean, the touch from Thuram, if it was anything, it was incredibly marginal because I think Wirtz gets more of a touch on it than Thuram does. So whether they're looking at it in that respect and saying, well, Wirtz directs the ball more than Thuram does, then I guess I understand. But he still slightly connects with the ball, which in the respect of the law shouldn't count.
Yeah, and the fact that they said no goal and then I came back and they were celebrating, I was like...
I was confused there. I'm thinking, why are you celebrating no goal?
But what an absolutely unbelievable start to this game.
Wow.
It's everything I wanted and more.
I mean, we picked two great games to cover today. Of course, Manchester City, Liverpool still at half-time. Second half is coming up in just a moment. But what a start to this game between Leverkusen and Gladbach. It really could have been 2-2.
It could have been 2-2. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm surprised it's 2-1 as Diaby picks the ball up on the edge of the box. It's another good attack from Leverkusen as Amiri will earn a corner. It's end-to-end stuff. And I'll be honest, Mönchengladbach have had 2 chances and they've put both of them away. So what a start for the boys.
I mean, it's making me hope that if this game, finishes, of course, there'll be a little bit of time to be able to come watch this game. Hopefully, the pacing of the game continues on because we've had 2 very good matches indeed. Well, it feels like for your game that there could be plenty more goals because from what I've seen in the last 5 minutes, both teams, it really is end-to-end, isn't it?
It really is. And there's been chances for both teams. And actually, Mönchengladbach are coming away. It's a counter-attack again. It's a 3-on-2. As he squares the ball right to Jonas Hoffmann. Jonas Hoffmann will square up Amiri and drill it across and they'll earn a corner of themselves. So from a Leverkusen corner with flipped sides, it's now a Gladbach corner. And that just epitomises the way this game's been so far.
Unbelievable game. Well, the players are back out on the pitch for the second half of Manchester City Liverpool. Just for those of you that are wondering who could come on into this game and make a difference, of course, as you can see, only 3 substitutes available in the Premier League in this match. John Stones, Ake, Zinchenko, Stefan Silva, Foden and Garcia for Manchester City. Milner, Keita, Adrian, Jones, Shaqiri, Origi and Phillips for Liverpool.
Oh my God, Josh, I don't believe it. It's all kicking off.
It sounds like it is. Oh my Lord, Neely. Oh, Jesus.
I don't understand what's going on. Gladbach, the corner comes in. Kramer connects with the header. It's cleared, but Mbolo hits it on the half volley. Great save by Hradecki. The rebound is lashed towards goal. It hits the underside of the bar and bounces out. Unbelievable game. Unbelievable game.
What a game so far. We are back underway between Manchester City and Liverpool. And well, I hope it can stay to a very similar pace as what we did in the first half. If not, can we have the same pace as the Leverkusen Gladbach game and just loads of goals going in, please?
I mean, you just saw the chance, Josh. I couldn't keep it. Was a save straight into a rebound, and the rebound just hits the underside of the bar. Unlucky for Mönchengladbach. Will they rue that missed opportunity? Because in this game, it sounds like they might do.
Well, I mean, it feels like every chance feels like it's going to end up with a goal, doesn't it, in that game right now? But I don't think Bernardo Silva has come on here in the second half yet, so he might see that as an early substitution. But Kevin De Bruyne has gone down from a challenge from Joel Matip. Pep Guardiola just, of course, looking a bit calm here. Hopefully it's nothing too serious for Kevin De Bruyne here. But Matip gets the yellow card. De Bruyne has gone down. Hopefully it should be okay. But Andreas, both matches are incredible. This really is just a great day of football, isn't it, in terms of the matches on tonight? Yeah,
definitely. It's an incredible set of fixtures, as we hoped they would be. We were hoping that this is what we was going to get, and it is exactly. I couldn't agree with Andrea anymore.
Absolutely, I've got to agree with him too. But De Bruyne here just hobbling off the pitch. Now we've known De Bruyne sometimes get some injuries that have kept him out of the game. He's had injuries that have kept him out for a month or 2 months and things like that, and they're just just testing him now to see if he's going to be all right to continue on in this game. So maybe we might see that Bernardo Silva substitute actually come a little bit earlier than we expected to. But I think he should be all right to continue. It doesn't look too serious for him to come off. But, of course, I'm not an expert, so maybe the experts know a little bit more than I do.
Maybe slightly, you know, sadly we're not working towards our medicine degrees, but...
No, we're not.
You know, we'll have to have as Wendell comes forward, he chooses the wrong pass in this game. But I tell you what, Josh, if we keep going like we're going, we'll both need a lie down after this.
Well, I feel like we will. I'm hoping, as I said, that this second half can really kick on the way that the first half did, because, you know, as we said before, specifically in this game between City and Liverpool, and even in the game between Leverkusen and Gladbach, both teams will not want to lose the game. They will want to get 3 points or nothing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, for Leverkusen and Gladbach, it's so crucial in terms of getting into the top four. For City and Liverpool, it's crucial in terms of getting towards the title. So it makes for very good viewing for both games.
Yeah, to be fair, in this Bundesliga campaign, they want to stay within touching distance of Bayern Munich. And a win for either side, you are still within one win, I'm pretty sure, if you are one of these teams. So that's where you really want to be.
Absolutely, indeed. Could have the first chance of the game here for Liverpool. It's Jota in the second half even. Lays the ball to Mane. Now into Robertson, who strikes the ball into the path towards Bobby Firmino. Ederson makes the save. It's cleared away. And City looks counter-attack. And it's Rodri. There's 3 plays forward. It's a 4-on-2. There's 4 City players forward. De Bruyne is back on the pitch to the right wing. Lays the ball into the path of Sterling. But Alisson is able to get there and scurry the ball and try and lead Liverpool on the counter-attack. Breathtaking action here.
It is exactly that. We just had a chance here. They're just replaying that volley from Ben Sabini, it was, with his weaker right foot, which ricocheted off the underside of the crossbar. Oh, that could have put the game to bed, almost.
Salas, just outside the box here for Liverpool, takes the shot on slight deflection. Ederson's going to have to clear it here, and it could be a chance for Liverpool. Jota takes the shot on, and Ederson saves. And, well, it wasn't a very convincing parry there, Kieran. Parries the ball out from Salah's original deflected shot into the path of Jota, who I have to say, in my opinion, should have just hit this on the volley first time, because he takes an extra touch. And I think in that situation, if Jota just took it on first time, Ederson has no time to be able to compose himself. But that extra touch allows Ederson to, you know, calm down for a second, compose himself, and eventually Ederson gets the ball back. Yes.
One of them, maybe he didn't fancy he'd be able to get the right technique on it with the volley, but sometimes you've got to take the gamble.
Well, that's the thing. It's inside the box, just towards the left-hand side of the post. It's in a fairly decent position to hit it, but I think maybe in this situation, as I said, you know, Jota looking to not try and do anything too spectacular that might give the ball back to Manchester City, and in the end, of course, City get the ball back. Still 1-1 here, 50-minute mark.
Yeah, we're just creeping up into the 40th here. I might hop over to Liverpool thingy during the half-time of this game, because you can't keep your eyes off it. It's beautiful play by Mönchengladbach. It's the side netting, and Marcus Thuram, it was a free-flowing attack, great passing, great 1-2s, and he turns infield onto his right foot. He shoots across himself, and he hits the goal cam behind the goal, and it's just narrowly wide. And another great effort. I thought that was nestling into the left-hand corner.
Very unlucky indeed. I mean, what a game it sounds like. It's just end-to-end, which is exactly what you want in a match like this. A really, really good game indeed. But, yeah, not really much going on here in these first few minutes. We'll have to see what happens in this match. But still, obviously, 1-1 between these teams. And I was about to say it's 2-1 to Gladbach. But it's 2-2, isn't it?
Jan Sommer has had a mare. It's a crossing by Wirtz. It's a lofty cross. It's pretty tame. Sommer comes out to catch it and completely misses it. I'm not sure if it's the marker's fault, because they both get in each other's way, but there's no communication. Alario's in the middle to head home. I'm just trying to see now. It's a lofted ball.
I think that's Sommer's fault.
Sommer, Alario gets up over Elvedi, heads it home. Sommer is in no man's land coming out for that one.
It's not even close to where he's going to be able to punch the ball away. In that situation, you're full on punching Alario in the face there. Poor decision from Sommer.
No, it's definitely a bad decision. He's in behind Alario, so Alario gets there first, nods it into an open goal, and it's 2-2 after 40 minutes.
Incredible game. Absolutely incredible games across the board. This is why we love football, boys and girls. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's exactly why we love it. And we said it had a lot to live up to with the Classica yesterday and Benfica v Rangers on Thursday. But what a game it's been. And honestly, we talked about Liverpool's peaks and troughs. My Lord, if there was a flow diagram for these two, it'd be like a wave machine. Unbelievable.
I mean, it's been just an absolutely incredible week of watchalongs.
Yeah.
It's just been incredible games across the board over the last week. You know, every game's had a fair whack of goals in it, but 2-2 in this game. I think just under 5 minutes left of action in the Bundesliga fixture. Of course, now into the second half of this match. Kieran will come and join us on the Manchester City-Liverpool game when that game reaches half-time. But I'll be very happy to join you a little bit later on if it still stays with the way it's been right now.
Yeah, you really you can't take your eyes off this one for a moment. And I remember you said to me during that first half, would you be gutted to turn the City-Liverpool game off? And at the time I was like, yeah, I will be. Am I gutted now? Not at all. What a great fixture this is. And it's exactly what we thought it was going to be.
Just good to end-to-end football between two sides that are desperate to get into that top four spot and, of course, fight for the title with Bayern Munich. And, well, they're both delivering two very informed sides as well, isn't it? You have to say, of course, Leverkusen have beaten in 6, Gladbach with a 6-0 win. Just a great game of football to watch. And no doubt there'll be a few more chances before the end of the game, Kieran, I guess.
No, there's a crossing now to the back post. It's a ball that's free. Great save. Great save by Lucas Radetzky. It was right in front of him. A free kick on the left hand.
Oh, my Lord, what a save.
It caused all sorts of problems in the middle. It fell to Thuram. He just lashes at it. Radetzky makes himself big and it hits him in the chest and goes out. That could have been and should have been 3-2.
Well, I didn't expect there to be many chances left. I thought, when I said it, I thought maybe there might be one chance or two. Didn't think we'd nearly have a goal in the back of the net there, but I mean, just a enthralling match to watch, isn't it, really? Captivating to keep your eyes out on as Manchester City come forward here. Just below the 55th minute mark. Still no changes yet. Rodri found a lovely ball to Jesus, who's just put his header wide. And that was a defence-crunching ball. Literally just opens up the entire Liverpool defence, Cancelo. It's a ball from the left wing, flicked into the box towards Jesus, and he just can't get his header into the back of the net. Really unfortunate there for Jesus. Big chance.
Yeah, trying to add to his tally of a goal in the first half. Sadly, couldn't quite.
He really should be scoring. You know, we said about it earlier about how the previous goal was really fantastic work from him. He has to score in that situation. It's a poor miss and a really disappointing header from Jesus.
Yeah, it is. As Ben Sabini appears to have some sort of knock on his left arm. He's holding it very gingerly at the moment. He's had to go over to the touchline to be issued back on by the referee. Hopefully nothing too serious. Hopefully something you can just wrap up and he'll be back on in the second half. But we are ticking towards that 45-minute mark. And I'll be able to tell you how much added time. It's been so stop-start. So continuous and not very stop-start. Surely can't be many added on.
I would have said maybe three or 4 minutes because of the goals, of course, the VAR as well, but intervening twice. I think that there'll be a few minutes. And I think either way, you're not going to be complaining if there's a few minutes of extra action again like that.
No, in terms of the pace of the game, it's been unbelievably frantic. You know, as you say, the VAR decisions kind of do take a while, but in terms of just game-wise, not many stoppages at all.
Not indeed. First change, by the way, between City and Liverpool. Xherdan Shaqiri is going to be the first substitute for Liverpool. I've got a feeling it's probably going to be Jota that comes off, but before that happens here, Gabriel Jesus is just outside of the box. What's he going to do here? Lays the ball off into Kevin De Bruyne. He's going to go for a long-range effort. De Bruyne just over the bar. And, well, he missed that penalty earlier. I thought we were going to get a potential bit of brilliance from the Belgian once again to make up for that penalty miss, but it just goes over the bar and out of play for a goal kick. How much added time is there, Kieran?
Well, BT is having a mare because they put 1 minute. So I was going to say, oh, Josh, there's 1 minute. I glance at you. I glance back up. They've changed it to 4. So it's either 1 or 4.
I assume it's probably 4 in terms of the VAR stoppages in play more than anything.
Yeah, I'm probably leaning more towards 4 because of, as you say, the VAR decisions. If we didn't have them, I think it could have easily just been no added time because there's been barely any stoppages, apart from for the amount of celebrations we've had in this first half.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were all confused about the celebrations with Stindl earlier in terms of we didn't know if it was a penalty. No, can't walk here. Nervy once again, I tell thee, because there's a ball that's lofted long from Bobby Firmino into the path of Sadio Mane. Doesn't reach Sadio Mane. Walker gets a touch, but Edison's coming out of his goal. Walker's touch sends it round the keeper. And Mane's just behind him, and Walker just has to clear his lines. He's not had a great night tonight, Walker, so far. And
no,
big chance there for Liverpool, but big chance for Walker to make another mistake in this game for Manchester City.
Yeah, and if you're Liverpool, you're trying to keep making them mistakes come out of the experienced fullback. It's not been known for them this year so far, apart from the one Leicester one. But tonight, he's had a couple.
Has been indeed. And they're going to make that first substitution now of the game here as we just get towards the 60th minute mark point of the match. Josh and Kieran, he's going to be coming onto the pitch. And it's actually going to be Bobby Firmino who gets substituted after half an hour. And to be honest with you, not done a great deal. I mean, it was that first kind of 5 minutes where we had one or two chances on goal that we thought maybe you could have put him into the back of the net. But once again, it's another game that Bobby Firmino is coming out of without a goal. There'll be questions asked as a free kick is launched the box for Liverpool. And, well, Diogo Jota there takes on a volley and there'll be calls for handball from Liverpool. That'll probably get checked in a second, similar to the handball earlier. Ball's lofted back into the box from Henderson from about 35 yards out into Trent. The ball goes out of play. And whether this gets checked or not for a potential handball, I think the referee will stop play. And well, Cancelo, he's just basically saying he's gone like that to shield himself in the situation. And just having a look now, yeah, it's not a handball at all. It hits his knee, not his knee, sorry. It hits his not shoulder.
Elbow.
Elbow. I had a nightmare there. Hits his elbow at the end of the day. Yeah, not going to be a handball.
No handball there. I'm coming to join you in about 45 seconds. Thank God the pace of this game has slowed during added time, so I can finally get my breath back before I come over to Man City Liverpool.
Oh, well, I don't think I can get my breath back here because Sane's just lofted the ball to Salah. Mane's lofted the ball to Salah on the left wing here. He's just trying to get a proper touch on the ball, the Egyptian, and eventually it's Ruben Dias that gets the ball away. Lays the ball off to De Bruyne, who's gifted it away here to Liverpool. And they're just going to play it back. And while it's been not as pacey in terms of the flow of the game in this first 15 minutes, Liverpool once again having the foothold of chances. Although Henderson's given the ball away here, and it's Sterling down the left wing, but great defending from Wijnaldum. And I think, fingers crossed, maybe the pace can improve as the teams get desperate to push for a winner in this last half an hour.
Well, the final chance of this half will be a Leverkusen free kick deep in Mönchengladbach territory. Ben Sabani got caught out by Bailey. You know how fast Leon Bailey is. Sprinting past him. Cynical pulls him back. It's a yellow card for him. It's Amiri's ball. A terrible ball. And that's half-time. So that will conclude half-time in Mönchengladbach v Leverkusen. What a half. I'm over to Liverpool.
Incredible game. Absolutely incredible game. We've got our first substitution of the game. Ferran Torres for Manchester City, of course. Ferran Torres has come off the pitch. Bernardo Silva, who I said had been warming up quite early on at half-time, has come on. And another player for Liverpool has gone down here. And this is a player you don't want to see going down. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Play hasn't even started. He's just dropped to the floor. And he looks like he's probably not going to continue on here. As I said, nothing going on in terms of play. He's just dropped to the floor while the substitution was made. Yeah,
they're the worst ones because you know they're not contact injuries. They're clearly muscle related usually, and that's the worst thing. You know, if you've done something, maybe not be able to carry on, which would be a massive shame for Liverpool.
Yeah, and he definitely is a muscle injury. Just looking back at the chance a moment ago and why he's pulled up, it was Raheem Sterling when he was breaking down the left wing a moment ago. He'd gone to chase after Sterling. He was just behind him and he just kind of stopped his run halfway through and kind of held his leg a bit. And yeah, he will not be able to continue on here. As James Milner looks like he's going to be coming on here. Well, question is he playing at right back?
He could probably do it. I mean, the thing is, Liverpool are so unfortunate this season with injuries, and this will be another massive one. it doesn't look like he'll be able to continue, Josh, I don't think.
No. Absolutely not. There is no way he's going to continue on here. I think, as I said, he was way behind Sterling, but he'd gone to run and he stopped his run, held his thigh more than anything. And that's Trent Alexander-Arnold's game done and dusted. And unfortunately for him, it's going to end here in disappointment in the fact that hopefully it's nothing too serious. But once again, it's another defensive injury for Liverpool. And I have to say, maybe a little bit more pivotal, in my opinion, than the Van Dijk one, because we know how crucial the fullbacks are to the way that Liverpool defend and attack. And hopefully it's nothing too serious. And I think you'll see in a moment ago the agitation on Klopp's face with that injury.
Well, this is what I always used to say, Josh. I think it was last season I always used to say, you get an injury to the front three, it's bad, but it's not the worst. The fullbacks, that's the worst. And there goes, sadly, one of them.
It's the lack of depth more than anything. And now look at left back. They've got the added depth now because they've got Kostas Tsimikas who could come in for Robertson. But at right back, you are looking and you're thinking, well, who comes in that situation when Trent is out injured? Obviously, we're bringing on James Milner now because of the lack of options on the bench for them. But even then, there isn't a player nowhere near Trent's standard that can come on as a right back and do the defensive work. And I now think Manchester City will look at this as a chance to exploit James Milner on that right-hand side and take a couple of more opportunities with Sterling to bomb down that wing. But he's come off the pitch, as I said. James Milner comes on. And in the 63rd minute, we've got a free kick here, which I guess, as a positive, you've got another fairly decent set piece taken out on the pitch as well.
Yeah, you wonder if it'll give the likes of Man City kind of a second gust of wind, really, a bit of a confidence boost, because now they don't have to worry about his delivery. They do have to worry about Henderson's, though.
Well, they're going to have to worry here because a player's gone down in the box for Liverpool. No cause for a penalty, though. But now Manchester City can drive forward here. It's Kyle Walker, who will certainly be looking to make up for his mistake in that first half of the penalty. Mane, really good tackle there, although the referee is going to bring it back for a free kick, of course. Just trying to stop the counter-attack there from Kyle Walker. I
thought he got the ball. As you said, I thought it was a good tackle. I think that's a horrific decision by the ref. Is Robertson all right, or whoever went down? Because they seem to have grabbed the head, and I thought you had to kick it out for a head injury.
I'm guessing they must have just got up fairly quickly. I'm guessing in this situation. So I'd be very worried if they're still down on the floor right now and the referee hasn't gone back to make sure they're okay. But they should be all right indeed, as Manchester City look to come forward here as we expected on that left-hand side of the pitch on the right-hand side of the pitch where James Milner is playing as a right back. I would expect Cancelo and Sterling to be the two players that look to push forward and really pressurise Milner because, of course, I don't think he'll have done that much warm-up in the last kind of 15, 20 minutes.
Well, I think he would have maybe expected to come on at some point, depending on the game situation, but I don't think he would have expected it to be at right back.
No, and I don't think he would have expected to come on with a good half an hour of the match left, of course. I think there'll be a few minutes of additional time because of Trent going down. He didn't come off the pitch. He was on the pitch as the medical team was checking him out. So I think there'll be a few minutes of additional time here. But you can see second half possession, 50-50 right now. It's still a very, very even game. And I'm hoping that the tempo ups a little bit here because the second half hasn't been as good as the first. But you should surely see one of these two sides start to push up a little bit more to try and get that winning goal.
Yeah, I think, last 10 minutes, last 15 will be really nervous for both teams. I apologise. Oh, I'm worn out, Josh, by these games.
The second half would have been as boring.
Do you know what? I'm going to blame the intensity of the two games. But in terms of the second half, as you said, I think it'll be last 10-15. They've got to go for it.
Yeah, I think that there will be a few changes. I mean, when you look at the two benches, of course, I'll bring them up very quickly. You can see on the bench, Phil Foden, of course, for Manchester City is probably the biggest shout for someone to come on already. We've seen Bernardo Silva come on. And as for Liverpool, well, they've already brought on Xherdan Shaqiri. I guess the other two players you could bring on at this stage of the game, or three, sorry. Divock Origi up top, of course. We've seen him before win games. I don't think it's probably his game to come on, but I guess if Liverpool do get a little bit desperate, maybe they bring him on. Naby Keita as well in the midfield if they want another creative player to come on. Or Curtis Jones, bring on the youngster. Maybe he could make a difference in this game.
Yeah, personally, I think I'd like to see maybe Divock Origi, maybe take off Jota. It's not been his most impactful game. maybe put him and Salah up top. Because what I'm looking at Liverpool here, and it appears to be a 4-4-2. I know it's a 4-2-2 on the score sheet, but the wingers are kind of sitting a bit deeper than they usually would in that 4-3-3.
Yeah, and I'm guessing now, is that just because of the injury a moment ago? Is this just so Shaqiri can track back and help out Milner? Because, look, we know Milner is a very good player on his day, and fitness-wise, he's probably one of the most fittest players in European football. But, Shaqiri can come back, help track back, and just be that extra man, because he's going to have a tough time against the likes of Sterling and Cancelo. But, as you said, it is like a 4-4-2 right now that Liverpool are playing. Of course, slight tweak from the system that we thought they were going to start out with, that 4-2-2.
Yeah, I think so. And that's probably an in-game situation with the way you've said. Kind of it's all panned out. I think Liverpool, with the injuries they've had and the way the game's panned out, I think they'll be more than happy to take a 1-1 at this point. But I don't see this game finishing 1-1.
No, I don't see this finishing 1-1 either. But I do feel like City are the team that might get the winner. As I said, it all depends down to that last 10, 15 minutes. Which team is going to be the one that tries to push up more? If we still sat here in the 80th minute at 1-1, which team is going to take that extra gamble, that extra risk to push forward? And yes, they're going to leave space open, but they want to get a winner in this stage of the game, because both teams, they desperately need these 3 points.
Yeah, I think more City. I think we've talked about this, but if you're them in this game, this is a gigantic opportunity, because the way Liverpool have had their injuries, but I think Salah's been released on the right.
He has indeed, but João Cancelo there with a bit of good defended means that the ball does go out of play. I think it is going to go out for a Liverpool corner here with 22 minutes left on the clock. And Salah just down on his feet right now. He's okay, which is a good sign for Liverpool, because I think the last thing they'd want is to see one of their big attackers go down in this game as well. But corner's going to be taken here, and I assume it's going to be taken short, which it is indeed. Mohamed Salah flicks the ball into the box, which is very comfortably cleared away by Merrick Laporte, although it's going to come down here for Henderson. The ball's flicked into the box towards Salah, and eventually he's going to be cleared away. But he's come back here once again to Henderson. Now it's to the path of, I think it was towards the path of Robertson there. My Now TV just decided to stop for a second, which is incredibly frustrating. It was actually Jota, who got the ball there, and Liverpool just going back for a little bit here, playing a bit more defensive.
I was going to say, are you back, or are you watching? You back?
I am back now, yeah. He just stopped for a second now. I got slightly worried. I was like, don't do it at this stage of the game, please. Yeah,
especially when there's a lot of time to go. And that was a really weird header by Bernardo Silva. He decided to head it backwards, and it's got a throw in for Liverpool high up in the pitch, but they're going backwards.
They are indeed. Jacob Fortin, welcome to the stream, buddy. Hope you're all good as always. Nice to see you in the stream. Hopefully enjoying these two games today as it currently stands, of course. Manchester City 1, Liverpool will be 20 minutes left of this game. And, of course, Kieran L is also covering the mammoth fixture between Gladbach and Leverkusen. Still at half-time, this one, 2-2. And for all in first 45 minutes, that, of course, Kieran would be very happy to go back to with the way that this game currently stands. But 20 minutes left here between City and Liverpool, 1-1. Hopefully somebody decides to push forward soon and take that extra risk. I think it probably won't be long before we see Phil Foden come on as well. And I think they'll bring someone off like Gundogan.
Yeah.
Attacking flair.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if that sub gets made at some point either. But how long do you leave it? I can't see it being much longer.
I think in the next 5 minutes, I think 75th minute, we'll see the change. If it's still 1-1 as this game currently is, bring that extra attacking player on. And I think Man City will bring on Foden. And as you said, I think Liverpool might bring on Divock Origi to try and get that winning goal. But Manchester City coming forward here. Kyle Walker trying to spray a ball into the box, but it's deflected. And Robertson is able to drive forward here. And while he's missing his fullback teammate, Trent Alexander-Arnold, but it's not going to stop him coming forward. And here come Liverpool pressing in numbers. Potential chance here for James Milner to come down that right-hand side. Now he's going to lay the ball off into the path of, just having a look here, Salah's inside the box, heavy touch there, and it's unlucky because Henderson's ball towards Salah was a really good ball, just a bit of a poor touch there from Mohamed Salah.
Oh, and Kyle Walker again, an aimless ball into the box, and he nearly heads it behind for a corner when there was no one within 5 yards of him. He's having a really, really bad day today, got to say.
Yep, I agree with you on that one. Been a very bad day for him indeed. Very, very poor. And, well, knowing with us, it probably means that he gets the winner in this game and makes it 2-1. But we'll have to find out here. Jacob's put, I'm a Liverpool fan and I'm impressed with the performance. And then, of course, nerves in the chat in terms of it. And I've got to say, look, at the end of the day, I think Liverpool have been the better of the two sides. But Liverpool fans, I think, will want them to go out there and get the winner in this game.
Yeah, of course. Personally, I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I'd say take the point if I'm you. But you have got to be impressed with the performance, with all the injury issues they've had and losing someone in the game as well. But there is still 18 minutes to go, and I've got to admit, I don't know about you, Jacob, but I'll be on the edge of my seat if I was a Liverpool fan right now. And I mean, I'm nervous even watching the game.
It's an exciting game, and I mean, as I said, the second half hasn't been up to the same pace and standards as the first, but maybe it means we're in for a blockbuster last 15 minutes here as these teams do push forward in the end. And Alisson there with a kick out, I think a moment ago, wasn't the most convincing kick out in the world, and City do get the ball back. But here they come, trying to come forward in these last 18 minutes, still currently 1-1 as it stands in this game. Gladbach and Leverkusen at half-time 2-2. While it's gone a little bit quiet, Kieran, with that game at 2-2, what's going to happen in the second half here? Because it's a bonkers game.
I'll be honest, a little bit of everything I'm hoping for. We had the penalty in the first half. We've had VAR controversy, a little bit of everything. I kind of want things, and you usually don't say this about matches, stay the same. Everything stay the same and just have
4-4 at full time.
Yeah, have that exact same half play out again, and I'll be more than happy. Overall, I think that it'll be a one-game winner. I think it'll end 3-2. I just can't really tell at the moment who for.
Oh, Sterling's in here on the left wing, just trying to cut a ball into the path of, it looked like a driving run from Rodri. He's going to get it to Rodri in the end. A little bit of a heavy touch there from the Spaniard. And now Liverpool can try and counter, but Sadio Mane's ball to Jota there is a little bit weak. And the ball goes back to City once again as we do begin to reach the 75th minute mark of this match. 15 minutes left. Time running out now for both sides to nick a winner in this game. Of course, not too long before Leverkusen and Gladbach starts in a second, but what a 45 minutes of action in Germany. I mean, if that could end with a few more goals, I mean, it's already had 4 goals in it, but if it could end 4-4, then it's certainly a great match indeed. But De Bruyne's going to lob a ball into the box, and it's a really poor ball from De Bruyne. And I've got to say, look, he did get the assist for Jesus' goal, but not being his greatest of days in the City shirt, I have to say.
But he still has 15 minutes, and if there's anything we know about Kevin De Bruyne, it doesn't take 15. With him, it only takes 1, and he can change the game. But that terrible ball is when I'm going to leave this game and I'm going to head back to Leverkusen, because I'm pretty sure there'll be a couple of minutes and then that game will be back underway.
Absolutely. It'll be starting up in a moment's time. So, Kieran, as we said, we'll be covering the rest of the 45 between Leverkusen and Gladbach. We've got 15 minutes left of this game. Then, of course, I'll probably flick on with the last half an hour and try and hopefully see a few more goals in that game in Germany. But Liverpool trying to come forward here. Diogo Jota just up against Gundogan and Rodri, and Liverpool are given the advantage there. Referees actually could come back and give us a free kick on the halfway line here for Liverpool, but I don't think it'll be too long before we see Jota come off. And of course, 15 minutes left of this game as we get into hopefully in the second half of Leverkusen and Gladbach.
We should be, as both teams have entered the field. We're waiting for this few stragglers, Josh, the few late out of the dressing room, and I'll let you know if there's been any changes at half-time, because I can see one on the sideline. That's why I'm going to let you know. Hannes Wolf has entered the fray for number 32, which I'm pretty sure was one of the midfields. It might have been Florian Neuhaus. I'll just double-check who number 32 is, Josh.
Number 32 is Neuhaus.
There we go. Well done, KL. Your number knowledge is unbelievable.
Thought I'd save you the effort there trying to find out who it is. But yeah, I've got the lineup. So 32, Neuhaus has come off. So interesting change there. Gladbach going, I guess you could say, a little bit more attacking.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say to you, to be honest. Who's the last remaining midfielder that played in that first half was Hoffman and Stindl. Hoffman will drop into centre mid, I'm pretty sure, with Christoph Kremer. And Stindl will, Hannes Wolf will go onto the right-hand side, which is just an attacking sub, really.
I mean, that's the thing. You're not going to be complaining in terms of the attacking sub, because it means, well, we might get even more attacking action in this 45 minutes. But it has kicked off now, of course. Second half of that, Leverkusen 2, Gladbach 2. Hopefully, it can finish with a few more goals in it. Certainly hasn't been a quiet first 45, but in this game between Manchester City and Liverpool, I believe we might have a corner for City. We do indeed. Bernardo Silva, just with a ball that's gone out of play. De Bruyne is going to take this. This could be a massive opportunity for Manchester City to take the lead in this game with 13 minutes left on the clock. Let's find out what happens here, because it's a big chance indeed. De Bruyne is going to take it in just a moment. It's lobbed into the box. He's come down towards the path of Ruben Dias, and very nearly James Milner taking a touch that would have actually gifted it into the path. I think it was Rodri, but Alisson gets the ball in the end, and he's going to hoof it long. And not the greatest of corners in the world there for Manchester City. Still 1-1.
Yeah, I was going to say they have to make most of the set piece situations, but doesn't sound like they've done that at all. Opening minute and a half here, I will tell you that Mbolo has picked up a yellow. That is obviously partners Ben Sabini, who's on a yellow after the first half. Hopefully we don't see any reds. I don't want to tar the game in any way. Hopefully
not. Sterling was inside the box there for a moment. There was a really good chance for him. He had 4 Liverpool players around him. He was getting swarmed by the colour of red, and he couldn't get through in the end. And eventually his pass is actually having to be laid off to the outside of the box. And I think we've just seen a yellow card here. I think it's going to go to one of the City players. I think taking down, it was indeed Laporte, taking down Salah, as Liverpool were looking like they were about to come on a counter-attack from that Sterling ball a moment ago. So yellow card there for Aymeric Laporte. 12 minutes left on the clock. I'm surprised we still haven't seen any more substitutions from both sides here, because looking in the last 5 minutes, only 1% of the ball has been in the attacking half of play for Liverpool in Manchester City's attack in the attacking half of them. 1%.
Yeah, be interesting if they can maybe bring on someone to get that defensive Man City thinking, because since the substitute and maybe the whole second half, no one's really got going by the sounds of it, Josh.
No, I think probably now you're probably saying City are looking the hungrier of the two sides to go and get that winner. As I said, Liverpool only having 1% of the ball in the attacking half of play against City. It's not worrying, but I think at this stage, maybe, as you said, did Liverpool look at it and think, well, we'll take a point because, for us, we're not as desperate to get the 3 points right now. We'll still be in the top 4 anyway. And with how tight this league is right now, as crazy as it sounds, you actually could potentially drop 2 points and not be too fussed, because other teams around you will drop 2 points at some point in the next couple of weeks. But Manchester City, they have to be the more desperate of the two sides, because, of course, as it currently stands with the table right now, with a 1-1 draw, it means they would push up into 10th place and still be 6 points behind top spot, which, of course, doesn't sound like a massive amount. But even with winning the next game, they'd still be 5 points behind.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to be starting making your moves early rather than late in the campaign. And, it'd be an interesting way to see how this final 10 or so minutes goes now, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's it. We're now into that last 10 minutes. And, of course, it's going to be a nervy time indeed as Manchester City come forward here. It's De Bruyne just inside of the box on the right wing. Really good defending from Robertson. Great work from the Scottish fullback. And now he drives forward. He's still going here into the midfield. Going to lay the ball off into the path of Jordan Henderson, who's bombing forward here onto the right wing. Going to lay the ball off eventually to Milner. Henderson back to Milner once again. And Liverpool just slowly trying to build up attack here, although they're giving the ball away to Rodri.
Well, in this game, the footwork from Diaby is unbelievable. He is having a hell of a day with the ball at his feet. And another chance came towards the head of Lucas Alario. It just breezed the top of his head. Couldn't get a real connection on it. But Diaby, again, with his footwork, he's been causing all sorts of problems. We saw his driving run in the first half, Josh. He's having a very good day.
Very good indeed. He's had a few spells at Leverkusen where he's really been able to show what he can do. And I guess this is one of his games where he's doing very good indeed. Very similar to Leon Bailey to a certain extent. They've had these opportunities and glimpses, but they're not consistent enough. And I think great game so far. I mean, that second goal was absolutely incredible. The way he was able to just keep running. It's mad.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful goal. And Lars Bender is now in the book, because from one winger to another, Marcus Thuram threw a few step overs, bewildered Bender, and Bender just went to ground and took him out, because he wasn't having any of that trickery, I tell you.
He definitely wasn't indeed. Manchester City coming forward here. although some good defending from Henderson, has now laid the ball off to Sadio Mane, still trying to look for a winner in this game. It's still Manchester City 1, Liverpool 1. And there could be a chance here for Salah. Great defending from Cancelo. Oh, that is brilliant. Well, he slipped inside of the box, and it looked like Salah was going to be able to get the ball and at least have a chance on goal. But somehow, as he slipped over, he's able to just get a slight clip on the ball to stop Salah from being able to get the ball back and stops what would have been a pivotal opportunity. And now Sterling's got a chance to go through on goal, but Matip just gets in front of the English winger, and Alisson's able to come out and get the ball back. He's getting into a bit of a nervy time here for both the teams.
No, that doesn't surprise me at all. Especially, you don't want to make that crucial mistake. You don't want to be someone caught out. You've all got to switch on for the last 10 minutes, as hard as it can be, because your mind does start to waver with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there'll be a lot of players out there as well, especially on the attacking side of play, that might think, can I be the hero of this match? Can I be the one that gets the headlines and scores the winning goal? Which means we might see a few more speculative efforts and long-range efforts and things like that. It's very nervy now. Very, very nervy indeed as we get towards the last 7 minutes of this match. And I kind of don't know whether there's going to be a chance here. Although Alisson gets the ball and it was João Cancelo on that left wing. But sounds like you've had a chance in your game.
There was, and it was the man again. It was Leon Bailey. He's on a jinking run on the wide right, and he starts to cut inside onto his left foot. He hits a dipping effort, and he just goes past the post. But what I didn't realise at the time was it took a really crucial deflection to take that ball wide, and now he's come over to take the corner. And Bailey, another one, has had a really good game today, I've got to say.
I said he's a great player on his day. Consistency is just something that he needs to find. As we said, I think one of his best performances was when he scored those 2 goals against Bayern Munich. Absolutely incredible performance back not too long ago. But Ravens 8, hope you're good. Welcome along to the stream, buddy. Nice to see you, as always. If you're on stream, by the way, do leave a like and a subscription if you enjoyed the live watch-along right now of the 2 games between City and Liverpool and Gladbach and Leverkusen. This is currently stands 1 Liverpool 1 with 5 minutes left of the game to go. And Leverkusen 2, Gladbach 2. Of course, that one only just started a few minutes ago, although it will get in around about near the close to the 55th minute mark. So still plenty of time left in that one. And then Andreas put, he hopes Gladbach can win. If we get a substitution here, Phil Foden's going to come on in a moment. Who do you think looks the better of the 2 sides in that game?
Leverkusen definitely had the best of the first half. At the first half of the first half was probably, it's a difficult one, that one. But then the second half of the first half was definitely Gladbach. They had the better opportunities. You saw the one that hit the underside of the bar from Ben Sabine. I'll be honest, this game has been end to end, so no one's had the better of it. But I'm going to stick with Andrea, up the Gladbach.
I have to find out, indeed. Still got plenty of time left in that match. We are now into the last 5 minutes of City Liverpool, as I said. And as I expected, Phil Foden is going to be coming onto the pitch very shortly. I think Gundogan will come off to give them that extra attacking edge. But before Phil Foden comes on here, Liverpool look to see if they can make one more attack before we get that late substitution from Manchester City. And we saw yesterday some very late drama in the Premier League between West Ham and Fulham. It was a 91st minute winning goal, and then it was a 98th minute penalty that was missed by Ademola Lookman. Less said about that. Let's get something very similar in this game with some late action.
Yeah, don't think we want to see any Panenka penalties though.
Yeah, hopefully not. At least some of these players will probably put it into the back of there a bit better. But Ravens 8 is put. I've got Gladbach game on my computer and Red Zone on my TV. Kieran, I'll be loving that right now.
We love Red Zone. Skull for the Minnesota Vikings. I'll be switching Red Zone on after we're off the stream, Ravens 8. But I presume by your name, you're a Baltimore Ravens fan. I wish you the best.
Absolutely, indeed. Very best of luck in the NFL fixtures. Of course, there are a lot of games going on tonight, isn't there, in the NFL?
Oh, there's lots. Looking forward to the 9:25 game between the Cardinals and the Dolphins. But more importantly, tonight, it's Bucs v Saints. Battle for the NFC South. Very interesting. Josh won't be there for it, but I will be.
Yeah, unfortunately, I won't be. But we've still got a few minutes left of this game. A lot of NFL action going on, as always, on a Sunday. But doesn't feel like it's going to be a winner in this one. It's fizzled out, which is a real shame because I thought, we'll get a proper big grandstand finish. And look, we've got a few more minutes left. Of course, Trent went down earlier, so that'll maybe give us an extra minute or two of additional time. But it's fizzled out. It's a shame.
Well, it has fizzled out, and that's the shame about it. But you know, it's what you kind of say at this point. Maybe they're scared to lose. You never know.
Well, Raymond's 8 is put, yeah, he is indeed. Don't tell, I'm watching it, I shouldn't be.
Oh, what? Oh, I kind of want to know the backstory as to why he shouldn't be.
Oh, you've got to tell us now. You've got to tell us now, Ravens.
You have, and I think the yep was to the fact he's a Baltimore Ravens fan, by the way.
Oh, I think he's putting in there. I have to wake up at 7 a.m. in order to drive 2 hours to the US and watch there. My Lord. Bloody hell.
Wow. God bless you, Ravens. I tell you that. I hope you get enough sleep if you're driving anywhere. But it is a big game, so what can you do, Josh?
Do you know what the dedication to watching NFL there? We love it indeed. He's Canadian, by the way. The dedication to watching NFL Red Zone. God bless you, man.
Oh, Josh, we love it. You know how much this household loves a bit of NFL Red Zone, but at the moment we are loving the football, or not so much in your case.
Well, yeah. I mean, your game's been quite a good one, hasn't it? But this one's really fizzled out.
But, we haven't had major chances apart from that one Leon Bailey chance. But Florian Wirtz has picked it up on the edge of the box and he's going to square it to Amiri, whose whip ball into the box is cleared quite simply. But it's been a good day of fixtures.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, it's not been a bad match at all. I mean, the first half was incredible. The second half, yes, not as been as good, but there's still been a few chances here and there. And we still could see a few more chances before the end here. And I think Phil Foden's still waiting for him to actually come onto the pitch, as far as I'm aware. Not come on as of yet. And maybe as well, I've been looking at the Leverkusen Gladbach score and changing things and that. But no changes for Liverpool, which is quite weird. I thought we would have seen Origi come on here, but I think it comes back to your point. I think Liverpool quite content here taking a point.
Yeah, I definitely think with the situation, very situational though. I think before the game at 1-0 as well, they would have been like, yeah, I think we can go on and win this because they were dominating. But situational, injuries, performance-wise, a point I actually think is a fair result, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's a fair result indeed. I think both teams have had their glimpses in the game and opportunities to go on and maybe win it. But I think both sides today, look, it's still so early in the season. Some games you do look at, and if this was in maybe February or March time, both teams would have desperately wanted to win it. But because it's so early and teams are dropping points left, right, and centre across the board, I think we said over the last 2 seasons you couldn't afford to drop 2 or 3 games. But with the way that the Premier League's looking like it's going to pan out, you could probably drop 3 or 4 games here. But maybe another chance here.
Fredetsky's come flying out of his goal and he's still off his line. Liner's going to shoot from the halfway line, but he just shoots wide right. What a goal that would have been from Liner if he'd have scored from halfway line. But Fredetsky came out to challenge sweeper keeper, Neuer-esque. But the fall. Oh, go on.
Would have been great, wouldn't it, if you had a halfway goal in the game to sum the match up?
I think this would have been the most complete game of football ever.
Oh, absolutely, indeed. We just need a red card in the game as well, and it's pretty much has been a perfect game. We've got 4 minutes of additional time here in the match. We're about 30 seconds into that additional time. And then Ravens has put, what's your favourite commentary call in all the sports of all time?
Right. My first top of my list, I've got 2 favourites biased because of my teams, obviously. As Bailey breaks through, he's one-on-one. He tries to cut inside of Elvedi, and the ball, he's got it still in his feet. He's got to try and clear this, and he does in the end. Biased-wise, Josh, 2 of them. Diame in the playoff final, and the Minneapolis Miracle. I think Ravens 8 will know what I'm talking about. Sideline digs, all that, beautiful. But out of that, I don't like Man City, so I'm not going with Aguero. I think Bafana, that is up there.
Yeah, I was going to say Bafana was up there for me. I think Peter Drew is just incredible. Of course, the Greek God in Rome. That's another one that'll be up there for everyone. I mean, that was just absolutely breathtaking commentary. But I think Bafana has to be up there as one of the best commentary lines that there's been.
I think that Manolas one, Roma have risen from their ruins. It's all so perfect. That's got to be up there. What about you, Ravens? What's your favourite sports call of all? Because what a great question that is, by the way.
It's a great question indeed. Alisson's had to come off his line here as a sweeper keeper, nearly gifted a chance there to Manchester City to not necessarily hit from the halfway line, but just past the halfway line, which would have been a great chance indeed. We've seen it before in this game where keepers have come out and scored. There's been wonder goals in the match, but Alisson does very well indeed. And then Raymond says, should he say, man, go for it. Do tell us in the chat if you're with us. What's your favourite commentary call of all time in any sport? It'd be lovely to hear what you guys are saying. Although I'm going to pick one out from darts. One of my favourite darts one, there was, I think it was Raymond van Barneveld versus Phil Taylor. And Phil Taylor had played, and it was a guy called Sid Waddell, who passed away, unfortunately. Oh. And he just went, Phil is going like an intercontinental ballistic tungsten missile. And it's beautiful commentary. Do you know what I mean? It's like, how do you think of it? It's incredible.
It was more the fact that he says ballistic, but then carries on.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
Specifically, the element of tungsten missile. Yeah, thank you very much.
Exactly. It's beautiful commentary indeed. But we're down here to the last minute, by the way. Kyle Walker's gone into the book for a foul on Wijnaldum. Not his best of days in a Manchester City shirt. But I don't think we're going to get any more opportunities in this game before the end. And Ravens has put his in the chat right now. Campoli tries to clear it. Burrows shoot, scores. Game 7, overtime winning for Alex Burrows. I'm never forgetting that 9 years ago. Still remember it perfectly.
They're the best ones, is when you can feel it from maybe however long ago, 9 years, or whatever it may be. And I have just Googled, that's a hockey one from Ravens 8 there, which we don't watch much hockey on this channel, but I've always been interested in Canada because it is a massive sport. And that is a call that I feel like would resonate with you as a sports fan. In an overtime winner as well, like you'll remember again, sorry, Ravens 8, but last year, Minnesota Vikings away at the New Orleans Saints, overtime, Rudolph makes a grab in the end zone. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps.
But that's the thing as well. It's the moments like that where you remember where you are. By the way, last kick of the game here, Liverpool have got a free kick in the 94th minute. This is a great position to whip this into the box. If somebody hits this, then they're stupid. I think this has got to be lofted in. Shaqiri and Henderson standing over this. Milner as well. Shaqiri lofts it into the path of absolutely no one. And the referee blows his whistle for what was a disappointing. And I tell you what, Klopp is absolutely raging right now. The whistle's blown anyway, but he is fuming with Shaqiri right now in terms of the fact that he's not lofted it into the middle of the pitch. He lofted it to the far right-hand side of the inside of the box. And both managers hugging each other, of course, talking, no doubt, tactics of this game. Both incredible managers on their day. But either way, both sides haven't come out with the 3 points. And I think it's deserved. A 1-1 draw is deserved. Not the mouth-watering second half that the first half was indeed. But I think both teams will be fairly happy with a draw, in my opinion.
I think definitely Liverpool over Man City, in my opinion, because they keep their distance from the rest.
Absolutely, indeed. Of course, Manchester City will have definitely wanted to get 3 points in this game. But full time in this match, Liverpool 1, Manchester City 1. It means now we can fully focus on the next game of the night, of course. Still going on in the background right now. We're in the last 25 minutes of this game. Bayer Leverkusen 2, Gladbach 2. It's been a fairly quiet second half, hasn't it, for you, Kieran?
So far, we are in the 65th minute now. Diaby had a good chance in the box there, but I'm just looking at Andrea's favourite one. I was going to ask him, was it the Pavard goal against Argentina, which he curled into the bottom right? But I can imagine, because I don't know about you, Josh, other commentators that aren't English sound so much better saying some stuff. Like I feel this would sound amazing.
It's so much better. French commentary, I think Spanish commentary is always one, and I have to say Saudi Arabian commentary as well is absolutely incredible. The way that they commentate on any goal is just beautiful to listen to. I've got the game on, by the way. I'm in the 65th minute and 6th second.
Oh, I'm on 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, 14. I'm literally like half a second behind, so not too bad in that respect. And then just looking at what Raymond has put as well, we win first 3 games, lose next 3. Burrows gets one early, 1-0. He gets a penalty shot in the third, can't get it. Blackhawks tie late into regulation, overtime.
That is agonising. if you concede a goal late on to send it to overtime. Actually, Ravens, did you watch Notre Dame v Clemson yesterday? Because that went into double overtime. I'll ask you that question while you're in here. Because I'll be honest, Josh, not much action in this second half, but I can't complain after the first one. But I tell you that, and Hannes Wolf has managed to skip past 2 in the midfield, and he's still driving with it. He goes to switch it to Turan. The overlap by Ben Sabini. Through on goal, Ben Sabini. By post. What a save!
Oh, wow, what a save! Oh, how's he missed it?
I don't believe it. What a save from Lucas Hradecki.
Wow.
Ben Sabini, overlapping run, drills it to the back post where Stindl's sliding. Great save by Hradecki. Unbelievable reflexes. And
how's Wolf missed it?
Hannes Wolf misses the rebound. What an unbelievable chance. What a save. And what a miss.
Wow. I mean, that has to go into the back of the net. I mean, how's he missed that? I have no idea from what. It's inside the box. It's about, 3-4 yards out, tops. But it's a poor miss from Wolf, the substitute. Ravens put in the chat, by the way, to continue on what he said. And Burrows gets a wide open shot in overtime. And then it ends, boom, 2-1, final overtime. I only watch NFL, and then crazy stop with Hradecki. What a save.
What a save in this game. And it's a switch of play. Diaby is through on the left-hand side. It's come to life since you switched to us, Josh. And he finds the overlap. Bailey, through the legs.
Oh, he's through. Oh, he saved. What a finish.
What a goal. What a goal. And just from one moment of beautiful goalkeeping, it's up the other end. Diaby on the left. He passes it through to Leon Bailey, who slots it through Sommer's legs as he's coming out. What a goal. What a goal.
Wow. I mean, that is a great finish, isn't it, there? Sommer's not had a great day today from the sounds of it. I said, the second goal earlier, it was a terrible choice to punch there, and he's just been nutmegged by Leon Bailey. What a game this has been.
It's a beautiful pass through to Diaby. Them two have been a problem all day. A crossfield run by Bailey. It's beautiful, and he just gets his foot to it and he puts it through the legs of the goalkeeper. Wow.
Mad. I mean, from that angle, you look and you think, there's no way he's scoring from there. There's absolutely no way he's going to be able to get it into the back of the net. And it's mad now because we were talking 2 seconds ago about Hannes Wolf and how he's just missed an absolute sitter of opportunity. I mean, that is just a shocking miss. And how's he scored that? How?
It's an unbelievable. I've got to admit, Leon Bailey with the run is absolutely beautiful. It's his first goal in the league this season. His outstretched leg manages to prod it through Sommer's legs. Oh, Josh, I tell you what, since you've come over, we've spruced back into life in this fixture, and it just never seems to stop.
Well, I mean, I'm glad I've been able to switch over in this game. And be able to witness the rest of this match because, that first half, from what I was able to see from that kind of last 10 or 15 minutes second half was absolutely incredible. But hopefully now it means, Gladbach are going to have to push numbers forward. I guess we've got to see Plea soon.
I was about to say that. You took the words right out of my mouth, Josh. I was about to say, I think we might see Alassane Plea, but you don't want it to get worse because Leverkusen are coming forward again. They've been really good today. Leverkusen. I think Gladbach's goals have been a little bit, nicking the game, nicking the goals on counters, but they've had 2 golden opportunities. Ben Sabine hits the underside of the bar from a save, and then we had Hannes Wolf missing a golden opportunity as it comes to Wirtz from the edge.
A little bit too heavy there. Chris is in the chat, by the way. How are you doing, Chris? Hope you're good, buddy, as always. Perfectly put what I thought he was going to put. I'll take that. Very frustrated with our second half performance. We've done nothing, got away with it. Jesus' chance where he should have scored, but it's our first point in the Etihad since 2016-17, which is mad when you think about it. But it's exactly what we said, Chris. I think both teams deserve to get a point. Jesus' chance, though, early on in that second half, he should have scored that, buried it in the back of the net. But I think a point's deserved in the end in that game. Very frustrated. I think both sides will be that they've not maybe pushed on to try and get a winner. I think Liverpool more than City. Although City, they desperately needed the 3 points, I think. But a point was deserved. And then Ravens' pot, I think that SN should show more soccer than talking about the Leafs, who cannot get past the first round, blowing 3-0 series leads and 4-1 lead in the third game. No cut wins for the Leafs in 1967. That's mental.
That is wow. That is a long time to have literally like no success.
Jesus.
And I'm presuming SN must mean like sports networks.
Yeah.
But also, I'd like to see Canada and America adopt more of soccer or either football, whichever you prefer to call it. But like the Bundesliga, because the Bundesliga, we said this, Josh, sometimes it's better than the Premier League. It really is.
It's breathtaking. And I think to go on Raven's points as well, I'd actually like to see more hockey shown in the UK, because we don't show enough American hockey. You know, they tend to show on BT Sport a lot more of British hockey, the international fixtures and things like that. And I think vice versa, we should see more hockey being played, American hockey being shown here.
Luckily, we're starting to see more American sports go over. Like American football it's got its own channel now on Sky. So I would like to see crossover sports a little bit more. We see like a lack of basketball, don't we, Josh? Like we never see basketball. Whereas unless you're watching the NBA playoffs, and that's really the only time that it gets any airtime over here. But again, the English sport should go over there as well. And hopefully we start seeing more crossovers and we just get global sports now rather than country specifics.
Yeah, I think that, to be fair, with NFL, it's absolutely criminal that they've not had a channel dedicated to it until very, very recently. The fact it's taken, God knows how long, where they've been showing NFL anyway on Sky Sports. The fact that they've only just got a channel for it now is absolutely mental. But Ravens just thought, I live on the other side of the country. I want to see normal things, not the Leafs. They're stuck.
No, I think now, Ravens, I'm just going to become like a hater of the Leafs as well. Yeah, screw the Leafs.
Screw the Leafs. Shame on them. Terrible, honestly.
But we've got 17 minutes or so left in this game. Leverkusen have the advantage. No substitutes apart from one, which was Valentin Lazaro, who entered the field for, I'm pretty sure it was, who was it actually? Who was it that went off? Let's have a look. Do you know, Josh?
It was Ebola who came off.
Oh, wow. I didn't even notice he'd come off. Which, sorry, to be fair, kind of says how much of an impact he played in the second half. He was much better in the first, but Valentin Lazaro's come on now. A bit of an attacker, but, gone from spending half a season on loan at Newcastle to Champions League football. That's a big step.
Well, that's the thing. It's mad, isn't it? I guess he never expected to go from playing at Newcastle. I mean, technically he was on loan from Inter Milan as well, which is another Champions League club at the end of the day. But fair play to him. I think he's a very good player on his day. Another very versatile player. The fact he could play right back and right mid and things. But I'm going to stop there because there's two subs coming off Gladbach now, and one of them should have been on the pitch since the start, in my opinion.
Yeah, and finally that change gets made. Liner will go off the right fullback. And on will come Alassane Players. Also, Christoph Kremer has been replaced. And it's Laszlo Benez who comes on, the attacking midfielder. And Alassane Players. Interesting to see if they go three at the back with Elvedi, Ginter, and Ben Sabini, which I'm pretty sure they're probably going to do.
Yeah, I would expect it in that situation. Raven's a point in the chat, by the way. 4-1 in the third, 12 minutes 30. Can you guess the final score? I hate the Leafs and the Bruins equally as bad. Right.
I know Boston Bruins, so I think they'll win this game and turn it around. I rate it finishes 7-5 to Boston. Just a guess.
That's a guess indeed. I'm going to guess the Bruins have got to win it, aren't they? Surely it'll be quite bad. I bet that it stays 4, but the Bruins get more and they just don't score anymore.
5-4, do you think?
Maybe. Go on then. I'll go 5-4. I was thinking 6 at first, and then I thought, yeah, go on then. 6-4. Go on. I'll have 6-4.
I'll take 7-5. Very bold. That's a lot of goals. It's a lot of goals because I know in ice hockey you don't really get them. So, yeah, we were correct. 5-4 to the Bruins.
5-4.
We knew it was going to. That is a major bottle.
That's mad, isn't it? Absolute bottlers. I'd like to see more hockey, to be honest. It's a real shame because I think another thing as well, I know it's going on to different sports and things like that, which I guess we're quite lucky that we can do that on this channel. But I'd like to see a lot more Gaelic football. I love Gaelic football, but they just don't show it in the UK, and it's annoying. It's so annoying.
Yeah, it's a very strange sport, but you love it when you see it on like YouTube highlights, but you never see it.
Yeah, the thing is, they love it. They absolutely love it down there. You know, see the stadiums packed out. It looks like a great atmosphere, but they don't show it in the UK. And it's like, just show it.
No. Yeah, it is insane.
You know, you want to branch out with more sports and things like that. It's frustrating, as we said that, specifically with American sports and things. It's taken them so long to, you know, bring them over and give them their own channels and things. But I think they're coming forward here, aren't they, Leverkusen?
They are. Leon Bailey's gone with a chip to the back post. By the way, Josh, it is a 4 at the back. They've moved Lazaro to right back. We know he can play that role more than well enough. But Leverkusen, they've got 15 minutes to hang on to this lead, and Gladbach have got 15 minutes to chase it. Do you think we'll see any more goals in this game?
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because I feel like there might be 1 or 2 more opportunities. I think can we see Plea make the most of his substitution appearance? Of course, got a hat trick against Shakhtar, which will certainly, you know, boost his confidence indeed. But I don't know. I feel like this could end 3-3, but I'd like a few more goals in this game. But Raymond's, but what's Gaelic football, by the way? I don't know if I spelled it correctly.
You didn't spell it correctly, but that's not your fault. There's an E after the A in Gaelic football, but you know more about it than I do, Josh. I've only seen it sparingly.
Yeah, I mean, Gaelic football is just an absolute mad mix of games put together. It's an Irish team sport, basically. There's 2 teams of 15 players on the pitch, and it is quite bonkers because it's a mix of football, it's a mix of rugby, it's even, you could say, a mix of kind of like handball as well, isn't it, technically? Because, of course, players can... you know, obviously handball, you'll know players can hold the ball, but they can't run with it. In Gaelic football, they can run with it in certain instances. It's very hard to describe Gaelic football, but it's worth checking out on YouTube if you've not seen it, because it's so big in Ireland. It's a massive sport for them, and to be honest, when you kind of watch it, it's quite bloody fun.
Yeah. Almost like just a cluster of everything, but the cluster's very fun. And from Gaelic football to actual football, as Amiri has it on this left-hand side, that you can see Leverkusen's tactics have changed. They've gone from chasing the game now to just really slowly keeping possession. And a lot of that has to be thanks to Lukas Radetzky, who's been brilliant, apart from the mistake for the penalty.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, Radetzky has made a couple of big saves in this game. And look, you know, he made a few mistakes with the penalty, right? But you can kind of overlook the penalty early on in the game. He's made some wonder saves in this match to keep his side in the game. And I mean, how he saved the chance earlier, which back of the net, I don't know.
Player tried to get onto the end of a loose ball there, but Radetzky was there first. Not seen anything of him since he's come on, but he's not been on the pitch very long at all. Nervous times for both these sides now, because they both want to get the best result possible, and that'll be a throw into oh no, he's going to give a foul, I think, there.
Yeah, I think he's giving a foul in this situation. Yes, indeed. Just checking if Wendell's okay there. Raymond's has put it's like hockey. I'd say probably like hockey on steroids. It's kind of like they've just gone and mixed multiple sports together, just in the hope that it'll work. And quite bizarrely, it does work. It's a weird game, and as I said, if you've never seen Gaelic football before, it's worth just kind of having a look on YouTube, because they've got live games on there and highlights and things. It's a bonkers sport, but I think it's one of those where you kind of watch it and you go, do you know what? I'm actually quite into this. You get slowly into it, and you're just watching games from the past. It's bonkers. Yeah. But there's substitutions going on in the Kieran.
There is. Thuram has come off for Herman the German. And on Leverkusen's side of the ball, we'll see Karim Bellarabi, who will be swapped for Lucas Alario, the man who's got a double today, and could have lifted his team to a victory over Mönchengladbach.
Yeah, do you know what? I'll give big credit to Lucas Alario because when he originally came in a few years ago, of course, it was Kevin Volland who was the main man up top. And I think there's a lot of people that forget Kevin Volland was even at the club because he's one of those players that seems to be under the shadow for a couple of years now at Leverkusen, moved on to Monaco's doing quite all right there, actually. But he's had to wait and bide his time, Lucas Alario, to get a big opportunity. And now he seems to be taking it in his stride. My Lord.
Another chance, and it's Amiri again from the edge of the box. It's great close control as the ball's bouncing. He teases Hoffman before flicking it past him. Lovely footwork, and his half volley hits off Elvedi, and we thought it was trickling in to the bottom right hand post, and he thought it was going in as well, but it just bounced past the post. And I tell you what, it may not have been as interesting as the first half, but this second half hasn't been bad.
No, he's had a fair share of chances in it. Bonnie Exeter said to need one more goal in this game. I'm guessing it might be for an Acker indeed, but still got 10 minutes left here for a potential goal. I think there was a goal for a handball there. Yeah,
there was shouts for a penalty in the box, but that's a great drilled pass to the right, and it's a reverse ball to Amiri. Going to try and find the ball. He finds it. It's in. We need one more.
Boney's got it. Yes. Go on, Boney. Up the Ackers. Go on, lad.
We go, and it's 4-2. It is Baumgartlinger, the man you would not expect to be in that position. And it was Amiri, again, with a wonderful run. He's been fantastic today. Could have had a goal. A beautiful flicked ball into him. He drills it across the box at the back post where the attacking prowess of Julian Baumgartlinger. Unbelievable.
Well, I tell you what, Boney came in at the right time there. He said, I need one more goal. Got it, yes. By lol. He picked the perfect time to come in and wish for a goal. That's game, set, and match now, isn't it?
Oh, well, I don't want him to say goodbye. Stay, we might get another one, Boney. But I'm very happy for your accumulator win. An unbelievable performance from Bayer Leverkusen, who have really played fantastically well all game long. And now, surely there's no way back, as we see the mask over the eyes for the Gladbach backroom staff.
Oh, God, it's not been the best game, has it, for Gladbach here, in terms of the second half, indeed. Ravens has asked a question, though. What do you think is the best football league?
Bundesliga. I back it.
I'd have probably said Bundesliga as well. I think Bundesliga, and I think Serie A is started to get up there. I think over the last few years, because it has got a little bit more competitive now over these last few years, with Atalanta and Inter Milan getting back to their best and things like that. But I think in terms of the most competitive league, I think it has to be the Bundesliga.
Yeah, I think I agree. Definitely, I think that's where most... Not that... Because it does sometimes get run away by Bayern Munich, but I feel like there's more competitive games week in, week out in the Bundesliga. Premier League's up there. Premier League's brilliant. But for me, I'm Bundesliga first.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, obviously, the Premier League is going to be up there 100% because, look, the Premier League is incredibly competitive. But I think the way with the Bundesliga as well is that the fact that, I know obviously Bayern win it season on season, but look underneath Bayern and the teams from second and below. As I said in yesterday's show, there was one season where Wolfsburg finished second. The next season they finished in the bottom three and had just survived on a relegation playoff. It's a crazy, crazy league where one season you can be at the very peak of your powers. The next season you can be struggling. Look at Werder Bremen as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that was actually going to be my next example was Werder Bremen this season, who, they're not great. They're in ninth. But last year they were fighting for their life. As Alexander Dragovic will come on for Lars Bender with 5 minutes to go, or just 6, not including stoppage time. We'll see if this game has any more twists and turns, but what a game this has been.
It has been indeed, and I've literally just seen a tweet from one of the producers and journalists in the Bundesliga that said Leverkusen Gladbach is everything that City Liverpool wanted to be, and exactly. I think you have to agree with it.
Yeah, I completely agree, and it's one of them where in a game like this, because it's on at the same time, wouldn't have been given the light of day by a lot of people. This is what you're missing if you just narrow your mindset to a certain league, which it's fine if that's what you want to do, but I would always say branch out, have a bit of a taster of a few, and then come back to what you like the most.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it is games like this where, look, when we look at the calendar, because of course we cover a lot of European sports on here, when we look at the calendar and we see what fixtures are going on, we looked at today, for example, and we went, fucking hell, there's loads of games going on that we really like. Leverkusen and Gladbach was one of them, City, Liverpool, the two games earlier in Italy between Juventus, Lazio, and Atalanta and Inter. Tonight, Valencia are taking on Real Madrid. Nice took on Monaco. It's one of those where you look and there's so many games that you want to cover, but ultimately it's just impossible to be able to cover them all.
No, if we wanted to stay on later, you'd have Valencia, Real Madrid. You'd have Lyon versus Saint Etienne. There is a lot of good games out there that go under the radar, and we will be, when we come back after the international break, I'm sure we'll be scouring the calendar for more of these games, especially one on a Friday night, which I'm definitely eyeing up. From
our first Ligue 1 game of the season, which is one we're going to be doing. First Ligue 1 game, PSG versus Monaco, which will be a big game indeed. I'm getting a phone call, by the way, which is very annoying.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, do you want to? There's not much happening, Josh. There's only 4 minutes. If you want to go take a call, it's completely fine. But I think Raven said that Bayern's overpowered. Yeah, they very much are.
Yeah, but Bayern Munich for God knows how long now have been just the team to beat, and I think it's even more scary now because we looked at years gone by, and I think somebody said about their ELO points that they get as a team. Apparently, their ELO points as a club are so high that you could quite easily say right now that this Bayern Munich side is one of the best sides that football has ever seen in terms of scoring goals, not conceding many, just. It's mad because I do think this Bayern Munich team are seriously up there as potential candidates to be one of the best sides. If they can get a good run going, maybe try and hold on to that Champions League and retain the title. I think there'll be people out there that will put them up as a potential team to look back on in the years gone by.
Yeah, and there's no reason not to be. They've always had the talent, but they've not always shown it in Europe. And if they get back-to-back Champions Leagues, we talked about how good Real Madrid were, how good that Barcelona team in the past were. They've got to be up there. I think I was talking about this yesterday. I look in every position in that team, and there's a great player, not a good player, a great player. And there's not many leagues, not many teams in world football where you can say that, because I was looking at Dortmund last night and I thought, few great players, lots of good players. Bayern Munich, great player in every position.
Yeah, the thing is with Bayern Munich, you look at their side and there is no one, in my opinion, apart from, yes, there are quite obvious players like Ronaldo and Messi that maybe you might say they can go in. But for any other club across Europe, take Dortmund for as an example, the players that you look at and you think, they're maybe not the strongest. Those players that you would replace them with tend to usually be from Bayern Munich anyway. It just shows how good of a side that they've got. And do you know what? I'll give credit to some of the sides. Take Leverkusen and Gladbach here. I'll give these sides credit because the fact that these teams last year were able to battle on for the majority of the season against Bayern Munich, I'll give these sides credit because...
And beat them.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, you only have to look back and think in the first half of the season how awful Bayern Munich were under Niko Kovac. The fact that they were able to change like that, we talk about the 2012-2013 Bayern Munich side as one of the greatest ever teams in Germany. But you'll be quite easily saying in a few years' time, when you look back at this team, that this could quite easily beat the 2012-13 team, in my opinion. And
this is without Thiago, midfielder, who they sold, and they just look as dominant at all. If you take other teams' best midfielders out of the way, like, take De Bruyne out of Man City, does that team win as many games? No. But, that's how much depth this Bayern team has. As we eke towards the 90th minute mark, that ball has gone out of play. And apparently there's 4 minutes added on, even though we've not reached 90 minutes yet.
Well, I'll tell you what, BT is having a nightmare, isn't it, today in terms of trying to pick out what's going on. But, Ravens put the chat, Bayern obliterated Barcelona just like Tampa Island does 8-2. And it's one of those where I think, as I said, compare the two Bayern Munich sides of the past, the 2012-13 winning title team and last season's. I think last season's team would smack up the 2012-13 team. They're just a ruthless side. And I think, we're not even taking into consideration here, Kieran, the fact that they still lost Coutinho and Perisic as well, who were two important players to the side. And yet they're still even more dominant. It's bonkers.
They had Nicholas Schuler out for almost a year because of an injury. Did it look like they were weaker defensively? No. They just carried on winning.
And that's the mad thing, because you looked at players like, for example, Jerome Boateng, and yes, I think at the time we all said he was done, as a Bayern Munich player. He was never going to get back to the same player he was in the past. And now you look at him, and I'm just trying to think of Neuer as well, who dropped off a little bit. It's unbelievable. They are literally back to what they were a couple of years ago. It's bonkers.
Yeah, and Leverkusen could put the final nail in Mönchengladbach's coffin as Diaby skips past Alvedi. Pretty sure I thought that was going to be given as a foul, but it wasn't. The referee has continued the game. 3 minutes left of 4 added on. It was 4 added on. Tapsoba misses the header. And it looks like Bender's going to get to that one, and it'll be a throw-in to Bayer Leverkusen on the near touchline. This game appears to be over, Josh.
Yeah, well, it was done and dusted, wasn't it, after the fourth goal? I was going to actually say at one point, do you think Leverkusen will try and push for that fourth to seal the deal? But, of course, they've got it now. Gladbach, unless there is a moment of absolute madness in this game over the next 2.5 minutes, Leverkusen will get a big victory. In fact, I was looking at the table not too long ago, just to have a quick gander and see where, of course, everybody is in the table right now. But Leverkusen, they'll jump into 4th place on 15 points. 7 games unbeaten, the only side, apart from Wolfsburg, in the league to go without a defeat. Gladbach, they're dropping to 7th on 11 points. Of course, just dropping a few points already, but that'll be all the fixtures in the Bundesliga done this season. Oh, my Lord.
As Ben Sabani's header just goes past the post, that would have made for a very nervy final 2 minutes as Ben has his ball into the box, found the head of the Algerian, found the shoulder, actually, hence why they might have missed that one. You've got to think, Josh, now, maybe this Leverkusen team is for real now. Maybe they are. We thought maybe, they were riding a little bit of a high. They were getting a lot of draws in the opening couple of weeks. But maybe they are for real after all. Even selling Havertz have just become a better team.
I think you've got to give them a bit more time. Still early in the season, 7 games in now. I think they're a good side at the end of the day. I still don't think they're going to be able to obviously compete against Bayern Munich for the title or anything like that. But they're a great side. Look, at the end of the day, 7 games unbeaten now. In terms of the actual table, 4 wins, 3 draws. Which, if you compare it to the other side, who's unbeaten in the league, Wolfsburg have only won 2 games and drawn 5. So it's a fairly impressive record. And look, they're 3 points away from the top spot. 1 point away from second. If they can keep clawing out results, which I've just looked at their fixtures, they could quite easily pick up points in the next few games. They could quite easily be in the shout to be in the top 4 around Christmas time.
Exactly. And after the disappointment of missing out on Champions League football, to this very team, Borussia Mönchengladbach, they'll be happy to get one over on them today. Oh my God! Oh my God!
My Lord! What a goal!
Have you just seen that? That is a scorpion kick from Valentin Lazaro.
It's a shame it means nothing.
Oh, what a goal!
Wow.
What a goal that is. Oh, my Lord. That is unbelievable from Valentin Lazaro. He has scored a scorpion kick in this game. And, Josh, you said, is this the most complete game of football you've ever seen? What
it might be
goal.
now.
Oh my God, he scored a scorpion kick with 20 seconds to go. They have a free kick. Mönchengladbach have a free kick just inside Leverkusen's half.
Well, to be honest, I would send the goalkeeper up in this situation. I genuinely would for the extra man in this game. And he is up, Sommer's up. Well, this is a big opportunity now. What a goal. And it's a shame it might not mean anything in the context of the match. Imagine this goes in. Imagine. Are we about to see an incredible winning goal?
It's at the back post. The referee, don't blow your whistle. Please don't
blow it. Don't blow it.
Oh, God, it's over. Oh, Fredetsky catches it. And it's over, I think, now.
It's got
It is over. Leverkusen get one over on Gladbach, but we have seen everything in this game. And I am so sad that it's over.
I mean, I can't believe that. Of course, for Valentino Lazaro, the fact that he's just scored one of the most outrageous goals of the season in the Bundesliga and across Europe. I mean, that is absolutely incredible. And the sad thing is, Kieran, it means nothing for Gladbach. It means nothing.
I'm so sad. I'm so sad that it meant nothing.
I mean, even Ravens put amazing goal to give Gladbach a chance. And we thought there for a second with that free kick at the end. Imagine if it went into the box and it was 4-4 at the end. I mean, what a game of football. It comes back to what I said earlier. This is the game that City Liverpool wanted to be.
I don't believe it. I do not believe it. And I loved City Liverpool. It was a brilliant game. But nothing is beating that, Josh, for a long time.
And I mean, I've got to say, I'm quite fortunate that I was able to put have the game on at the same time just to be able to see what was going on, or else I'd have missed out on what was an absolutely bonkers match. I mean, there's been some incredible goals in this game. We're not even taking into consideration there was Lario's incredible first goal. But Lazaro's finished there, 7 goals in a match, and that will go down as a Bundesliga classic. Like yesterday, another Bundesliga classic.
That for me is a football classic. You will not see many better games than that in football, and that is literally why we watch it. And I can't believe I've just witnessed a scorpion kick that will be forgotten about.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're forgetting Lucas Radetsky's save in the first half. Ben Sabini's hitting the underside of the bar. There was so much.
Wolf's chance. Wolf's sitter from inside of the box is the biggest cock-up of them all, because you're thinking in that situation, if that's in the back of the net, you're talking a 4-4 game. But at the same time, there's so many chances for both teams that could have been put into the back of the net. That this could have been, it could have ended 5-4, 5-5.
I do not believe what this game has become. An unbelievable matchup. And sorry, we usually end these quite calmly and quite nicely, and we procure a nice finale. I feel like we're just both speechless.
I mean, it's the thing is, you think in that situation, look, an incredible goal that, as we said, it doesn't mean anything. The last scorpion kick I've witnessed in terms of a live game was, of course, Giroud against Crystal Palace all that time ago, and it's goal of the season. It really will probably be one of the goals of the season contenders. I mean, it's an incredible goal. But for Leverkusen, they come out with a 4-3 win, and in their last 3 games, they've scored 4 goals. Freiburg, they won 4-2 last week. They scored 4 against Hapoel Beersheva that ended 4-2, and then they've just beaten Gladbach 4-3. They're not shy of an absolute classic, are they, Leverkusen?
No, and I seriously can't believe what we've just watched, Josh.
Unbelievable game. As I said, it means that Leverkusen go into 4th place with this victory on 15 points, only 1 point off second, 3 points off third. Gladbach dropped down into 7th on 11 points, 0 goal difference. But of course, with how tight this table is, it still means they're well and truly in for a shout within that top 5 spots. But what a game of football. By Leverkusen 4, Gladbach 3, and then, of course, the other game we talked about earlier on, the other match that really wished it could have ended in that similar way. Manchester City 1, Liverpool 1, and then Ravens has put in the chat, just like Corpi Salo, 83 saves, and in 5 overtime points, scores on him, and that performance is forgotten. And
exactly.
Lazaro's is a very similar situation, isn't it, Kieran?
We will not forget you, Valentin Lazaro. We will give you the respect you deserve. Just not right now, because Leverkusen win. Thank you for joining us, because we hope you enjoyed that just as much as we did.
Absolutely incredible, honestly. 2 fantastic games. If you're new to the channel, as always, do leave a like and a subscription, because there is still plenty more content to come on this channel in terms of watch-alongs and action over the next few days, because we're going to be back live. We might be back live for the FA Cup draw tomorrow. That's all I'm going to say for now. We might have the FA Cup draw live tomorrow. You'll have to find out, of course. Just keep F5 in the channel or subscribe, and then you'll be able to see whether we're live or not. But tomorrow, otherwise, Euro 2020 playoff final goals show 12th of November at 7:30. Free, by the way. There's free playoff finals to be played in these. We're going to be covering them all live. Let's hope for some drama because we will know by the 12th of November, which is a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, who is going to be in Euro 2020 in a couple of months' time. So do not miss that because there is going to be drama and potentially extra time or penalties to seal it. And then, of course, there's a couple of other games going across the board. I've absolutely cocked up here. Let me get back up on the screen. There we go. As you can see, on the 14th and the 15th of November and across the entirety of the international break, we're going to be doing the UEFA Nations League live, Match Day 5 and Match Day 6, Goals Show live, covering every single possible international fixture live from 7:30 on the 14th and the 15th of November. Hopefully, we can get some international drama as well because it's been absolutely incredible today. But thank you very much, Kieran, for what has been an absolutely incredible week because that is it. The Bundesliga weekender is finished. And, well, what an incredible Bundesliga weekender it was.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us. I cannot wait to do it again. I hope to see more Bundesliga weekends in the future because this is exactly why I thank you, Josh, for hosting every single one because you've been part of all three.
And so, I tell you what, I ain't complaining. Absolutely incredible.
No, my job was the easy one to come in and watch an amazing game. But thank you very much for doing this whole thing. You know, we'll be back soon. I'd like to thank everyone that joined us as well because sometimes our emotions get the better of us because we try and commentate. But on games like that, you just lose it all,
isn't it?
Yeah, you just lose it all. I need time to compose myself. But thank you to everyone.
Thank you very much indeed. But as for now, we hope you have a fantastic rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Once again, if you're on whether you're watching this live or on the replay, don't forget to leave a like and subscription. We're pushing towards 1,300 subscribers. But as for now, we hope to see you again soon. And, well, what an incredible weekend of action. Good night.